Folks, we have a very fun episode with my pal Katie Nolan coming up right now, but first, want to let you know, we're trying to be more professional here. We just went on a huge tour, we plugged like 4 dates on this podcast that hundreds of thousands of people listen to. So we decided
for a 60-day tour.
For a 60-day tour. I mean, we were gone so long and we didn't even consider to plug a date. I'd love to blame Elders, but this actually was, I mean, obviously he should have thought of it too, but that's on me. So we are starting the Dreamboat Tour. It's going to continue. We're hitting the UK, London, September 6th, Dublin, September 12th, Manchester, the 13th, Glasgow, whatever, the 14th. I'll figure it out. We're also adding another show in Glasgow, and here in America, November, me and Elders are going to do a trashy little tour. We did the bus. We're going to just rent a van and drive everywhere ourselves this time. We're talking Memphis on November 6th, Huntsville, Alabama, November 7th, Chattanooga the 8th, Knoxville the 9th, Asheville the 10th, and we have added Greensboro, North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're getting disgusting with it out in Myrtle Beach. Hopefully your divorced fathers will be down there. Tell them to come. And then, of course, Austin, Texas on the 22nd and Boston on the 13th. Very excited for those. Please come out and purchase a ticket. We're pumped. The hour is really fun. And I think I want to start doing even more new stuff. If you've seen us, I'll probably do a little more. These are smaller rooms. I'll be doing a little more. I didn't do any crowd work on the theater tour. I want to get in there, talk to the people a little bit. So we'll see you there this fall. Please come see us if you're in the UK or in parts of the American South, and then Boston. We're adding more stuff. Don't worry. Let us know where else to go. And now let's start the show. Let's get Katie Nolan in here. Opa! Welcome everybody to Stavvy's World. 904-800-STAV. Call in to solve all your problems. We are joined today, Katie Nolan. Thank you for being here, Katie.
Thank you for being here.
Casuals is out. Casuals, I did it on Sirius right now. Listen to it. Great show.
Thanks.
Sorry for you. I was the first guest, and it was after a Ravens loss, and I have felt bad about this since, where I was like, I didn't realize I probably shouldn't have just really cursed a lot from the jump.
It's not true.
I was like, fuck. I mean, every word.
It
was your
helped me.
first.
It helped me because I had been debating with Sirius about cursing, and they were like, "Oh, just try to not." I was like, "Totally." And then we had our first guest fall through. You came in huge for me.
Yes,
I'm so
I was happy
grateful.
to. I was happy to.
And after a devastating loss, and you just blew the doors off it. And so now, and then the episode did well. So I got to go like, hey, Sirius, I won't curse this much, probably ever again. Right. Look, the whole point is about the authenticity of fandom. So I thought it was perfect.
Thank you.
Don't feel bad.
Okay, great. But I did, and I was over the top, even for like me, because I was so mad. We had just lost in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
tough timing.
It was tough, but I think that makes good. That makes for good.
We certainly milked you for all the content that we could.
I really was.
Squeezed
I
it
was
out
the
of
sorrow
you.
cow.
Yes,
and you just were
great.
sucking on my udders.
Straight from the tap.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Katie.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And so you've done a bunch of. I mean, I'm kind of having a tough one right now because I was not drinking for like a year and a half. And it was no like hard and fast. It was just like I wanted to be healthier. And yesterday was so nice in New York. And I was strolling around. I'm in shorts and a Hawaiian. I bump into some friends.
Oh, you day drank.
And it was not. It was like they caught me at. I was walking around during the day, and then I went back into the city around like 7ish, looking at a bunch of apartments. So I've been like all over New York. I have turned it into something kind of fun. But so I got drunk for the first time because I was basically like, what am I doing? It's one time. I really don't have an alcohol problem. Like I have a weed and like Cinnabon problem. I don't like booze. I could honestly have like I don't feel the desire. It wasn't like it kickstarted like I gotta get fucked up all day. But I am definitely sluggish. I did that classic come home too late, and then should go to bed, just sit on the couch and just like wake up at 3:17 a.m. and then you're like, well, let's see what we got in the kitchen. I mean, there's no reason to go.
Terrible.
I'm up now,
Terrible.
so I made a disgusting little. Sandwich out of whatever I had, which was canned sardines and
my God.
spreadable. No, I'm sorry, anchovies.
I mean,
Yeah,
same
saltier.
death to me.
I don't know if you.
I didn't know the difference, but now I do.
I was not a big anchovy guy.
I like the way you say it.
I was not a big anchovy guy.
Anchovy.
Oh, maybe I didn't know.
John Anchovy.
Yeah. Should I say
No, you're right.
Anchovies?
You're right. I say anchovy, but I'm unfamiliar with the.
Interesting. Not a big canned fish.
I'm not a tin fish gal. No.
Really?
Dan and I went to a concert once in Brooklyn, and then after wanted to get food and walked over to this place that had great ratings. We were like, hey, we were looking for some food, and the guy was like, we do exclusively tinned fish.
It's a restaurant?
And Dan and I were like, what's the point of this?
It's
a restaurant at my house.
that opens up cans?
Right? Do I have to pop it open myself? What the hell? It was wild.
Exclusively?
Yeah, exclusively
what do they mean
tinned
by
fish.
that?
That's it. But different types, different varieties. Appetizer size or entree.
Honestly, you said that, Eldest's eyes lit up.
What is it called?
I can find it. I'm sure I can
Yeah.
find it. If it's still in business. This was a couple years ago, and I
Okay.
can't imagine it's a profitable
I
model.
don't know. I mean, if you if I kind of respect it because tin fish costs a certain, like, let's say it costs
Nothing,
$4
I'm
or
sure.
like the high end one,
Yeah.
right? Sell it for $7. You're at a
Done.
fucking restaurant.
Already done.
Kind of smart. I respect them.
I spent like $100 on 4 cans of tin fish in LA on the tour at like some fancy little place. They got me. I got one of them, and she started talking about how good all the others were. I'm like, I gotta get these for the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Upsell. She
weirdo.
upsold
I
your
got
pants
upsold.
off.
I was
Yeah.
a sucker.
Oh, he's the sucker. I mean,
Don't they
this
all
guy.
taste the same, like a salty little sliver of fish?
No.
No,
No,
you can taste the
Katie.
difference.
Yeah,
That's a mackerel.
Without question, anchovies taste. They're okay. I thought they were disgusting, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I think we're of the same generation where it was like
Cartoon joke.
The
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle.
Yes.
Anchovies. Yeah. So that to this day ruined them for me.
Yeah.
And then on tires, I had to eat. There's a scene where I have to eat something disgusting.
Yeah.
And so what they did was they put like anchovies with like with some kind of cheese. It was actually kind of, they had like a expensive cheese. They put like brie or some shit, and it was supposed to look like a weird fucked up delicacy for, my character. He's like, it's all he has is tinned fish essentially, to show that I'm at rock bottom. And I was like, this is gross. I was like, I don't even want this. I was like, guys, we can have this, but like, can you also get me some other shit that I'll actually eat, because I don't want this. So I made them get chicken nuggets and fries with the anchovies and shit. And then they were like, can you just take one bite of the anchovies?
And you loved it.
And I was like,
You loved it.
this is fucking incredible.
They are like little salty,
They're so salty.
and they
It's
melt.
just salt.
Yeah. The first time I had like a homemade Caesar dressing where they
Yes.
use it, and at first you're like, I don't want the
You're
anchovies.
like, ew.
But if you power through it and you actually just taste it, you're like, oh, it's just like
It's
a salty
salt-
little sliver
it's a
of
salt
flavor.
bomb.
Yeah, it's nice.
So you're not. It sounds like, I don't mean to kind of put you on blast immediately. You kind of change your colors quick on tin
Just
fish.
anchovies. But you're never gonna catch me waking up at 3:15.
Okay, that's fair.
And eating them out of a can.
In my defense, I had nothing.
What else was on the sandwich?
It was like that spreadable, like, not Baby Bell, but a different type of that Laughing Cow cheese.
Yeah.
And I had this old freezer bread that was like, it's like a health bread. It's called Ezekiel bread.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So I had not, because I've been on tour and I'm also trying to eat healthy. So there's no good snacks here.
Right, that's for the best.
And yes, it is. And that's really all it was. It was an open-faced Laughing Cow anchovies.
Not as bad as it could have been.
With some with a popcorn side.
Of course.
And a weird cottage cheese ice cream that I found for dessert.
So that was probably just regular
with
ice cream, but
chocolate
old
chips.
and curdled.
No. It has the worst. Okay, we're actually going to give them some free advertising.
Let's do it.
And I do love this product. Actually, I just found out about it. They had it on GoPuff. It's called. It's
Shout
fucked
out
up.
GoPuff. From me personally, shout out GoPuff.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all that you do.
It is good when you're stoned and you just need a snack immediately. It's called. It has the worst name I've ever heard in my life. So this is not actually great advertising. It's called Smear Case.
No.
Smear?
No.
You want to eat something and it's smear? Mm-mm. You're thinking of pap smear.
Pap. Yeah,
exactly. There's no way you're not thinking of
I'm
just
thinking
like
of my cervix.
of medical pussy
Smear
cream.
case.
But it's fucking good as hell, and it's super protein heavy. And I got to get my my protein, Katie. I'm trying to get.
Yeah, we're all trying to get I feel like adulthood is just trying to find ways to put protein into your body.
Absolutely. I've eaten so much, way more cottage cheese, a lot more whey protein. But anyway, so and then I put chocolate. I have found some baking chocolate. And I put
that's always the this is kind of chocolate. This is the only chocolate I have. It will do, but it's not. It tastes like dirt if you think about it too
But
hard.
You know what? With the little smear kit, with the little fucked up cottage cheese ice cream and some chocolate.
Full smear campaign.
I had it was fucked. I mean, a lot of everything I ate was kind of It was smeary.
Yeah.
I smeared shitty cheese. And the anchovies were kind of old. They were kind of smeared. This was last night. This was literally last night.
Last meal you ate.
Honestly, I made a sensible salmon lunch before you got here.
Smart.
But other than that, yes, that's what's in my belly right now.
Good. You're loaded to the gills
along
with fish.
like 5. Yeah, I am.
Nice.
Actually, you're right.
Sick.
Some old fat. And I had sushi the day before.
My God.
It's that and like 5 old fashions and like
Yeah, I stopped drinking in the pandemic kind of by accident. Dan obviously doesn't drink.
Yep.
And so we just didn't. He did all the shopping, and I was never going to be like, go to the liquor store and get me some booze, but don't touch it. And so I just stopped, which I never would have thought I'd be able to do. And now when I drink, it's embarrassing. I drink like 2 drinks, and I'm just loose.
Totally.
I'm just out here loose. And then I'll come home, and then I'll have a headache the next day, and I'm like, what's going on? I used to put beers down.
Were you you were real drunk? What are we talking
here? I mean, I probably shouldn't have drank as much as I did at as many professional functions as I did.
Sure.
I think I had a couple benevolent helpers in the sports media industry. I feel like Joel Klatt once said, like, you always getting this drunk at work stuff? And I didn't pick up on it. I was like, you know it, baby.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I'm fine. It's free. Did you know this is open bar, dude?
You do it. And then I think the next day I saw him at like whatever game we were there covering, and I was like, I'm sorry, Joel. I was out of line last night. But yeah, so I just but now I can't do it, and I just feel like it's a bummer.
Yeah.
To revisit drinking and not be able to go.
You're aging, unfortunately.
Yes,
your body's
and that's what I hear.
down.
I don't like it. It really is every day something new. Where I'm like, oh, that's just what my hip feels like now.
You're done. But you're holding up great.
Thanks so much, Stavvy. Thank you.
But also, you also got like pretty successful pretty young. So there was you probably were still in like party mode at these because I was like a sports nerd, so I was like, before we were friends, I was familiar, I was a fan of your work, I saw the stuff you did, and you were like, I feel like you really young, 26, and so you were kind of in that zone. Who were you like the 2 years before shit started popping? What was your job? What were you? You were like just out of college.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I had.
Did you live? You're from the Boston area.
From the Boston area, but I had moved right out of college into New York City. My cousin from California was moving to do Teach for America.
Okay.
And she needed a roommate. And I had a friend from college. All 3 of us moved into a walk-up in New York City. It was a huge mistake. I moved with no job. I had graduated in 2009, and I was like, I'll find a job. I graduated with honors from Hofstra University. No one's going to turn this down.
Hofstra, hell yeah.
It was crazy. So it was like $1,000 a month, I think, was rent. I had a car for the first, and I had finally
what part of the
to
city?
Sell that. We were up on the Upper East Side.
Okay.
So we lived there for a little. I ended up working at an Equinox because I couldn't find a job. So I sold gym memberships at an Equinox. And then after our lease was up.
Upper East Side, that's Upper East Side Equinox. We're talking, that's prime.
I lived across from the 74th Street one, which was nice. I worked at the 54th Street one, which nobody went to. It sucked.
I was thinking it'd be Real Housewives territory.
Yeah, no, ours was very corporate. Ours was like, if you're a person who works out on your lunch break, you would go to the 54th Street Equinox.
No, so that's not even fun.
No, not at all. And so I did that, and then once our lease was up, I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go back home. But my grandmother had just moved into my bedroom at my parents' house, but she had a condo in town.
That's so fucking
so
funny.
I got my own apartment.
Oh wow.
But it was in an old people's condo in Framingham, Massachusetts. So I lived there and worked at a bar.
Hell yeah.
In Alston, Massachusetts, which has since closed. And then, not the whole city, just the bar.
They shuttered the town of
the whole
Alston.
thing. They were like, get out of here. It's too much.
Alston, it sounds too much like Boston.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
People always think it's Austin when I say it. I'm like, no, Alston, Brighton. But I was bartending and blogging.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that was it. That was the right up before I did that for like 2 years of like writing. Then I started doing daily YouTube videos. And at night,
daily YouTube videos in like 2010.
Like 2011, I think.
Still, you're you know,
sucked.
ahead of the curve.
They sucked. They're not good.
Yeah, I mean, they probably were, but no,
literally just me.
Yeah.
Filming them, editing them, writing them, delivering them.
Wow.
I taught myself how to use a green screen.
Look at that.
Because I was like looking at my competition. I was like, these videos aren't going to pop off unless they look like.
Yeah.
They still didn't pop off all that much, but it was like work. And then I was going to bartend at night.
Love that.
I was fucking wiped. I was like working 2 jobs. The daily videos I was doing them for a company, and they were only paying me $750 a month, which at the time, I was like, that's my rent. Yeah. So I'll just all the dollars I make from home. I was like, all the dollars I'm making from bartending, I'll just keep. I was like, I'm living the life.
What kind of bar are we talking?
It was like a college bar.
Nice. Okay.
They were known in the area for being the bar that like will check your ID, and you cannot get in underage.
Okay. Wow.
But there would be a long line. We had a Pop-A-Shot machine. We had 2 bars.
Nice.
It was like high volume BU, BC, Harvard type. Yeah. Clientele. Yeah.
And so are you the type of bartender who is getting fucked up while bartending?
Well, it depends. I feel like there were times, certainly there were times, but like high volume bartending I hadn't done before. All I had ever done before that was, I probably lied on my resume, but at the time, all I did was like in college, I worked at some place called Benchwarmers. That was it was in a strip mall in Long Island.
Love that.
With like a nail salon and a place that does trophies for like little league
Damn,
tournaments.
we need to get some trophies in here.
Yeah.
So it's in a strip mall, bar. A bar strip mall is
tough.
An awesome.
It was tough. I had like the 5 clients that came in all the time. Yep. Clients, they were just people who go to the just alcoholics.
Just Long Island guys, probably making horrible, passes at you.
Yeah, but they were also like a lot of them were really old, and I was really insistent about how old they were, which I think really set the line that like this was not going to be a thing.
Sure.
And yeah, if anybody ordered food, which no one ever did, thank God, I had to work the fryer as well. So
wow, front house, back house.
That was when I used to get drunk. When I would have like 5 people that sit at the bar with me all day. My shift would go until whatever. Yes, and I would get drunk.
You got to drive back to your dorm.
Yeah,
because there's no other way to get there.
Yes,
it's Long Island.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Might as well get a buzz going.
Right? Why not? Really test things.
Hey, Eldest, I got a question, pal. Do you use Cash App?
I sure do.
Fuck, good. Because if you didn't, I would have said, what the hell is wrong with you, Eldest?
I'm glad I use it, man.
Thank God you do.
I couldn't suffer that kind of humiliation on this show.
I wouldn't want you to be flogged publicly for your inability to use one of the finest apps. Dare I say, the finest app for transferring money safely, quickly, securely. That's what I love about Cash App. It's fast, safe, and honestly just way more personalized than other apps out there. No extra hoops to jump through, no extra stress. All the tools are right there to help you cash in. You can even spice up your payments with custom text, stamps, and backgrounds, because why should paying your friend for brunch be so boring? I hate when one thing I hate when I pay a friend for brunch, and it gets really boring. I hate not having custom text, stamps, or backgrounds for paying for brunch. If for whatever insane reason you don't already have Cash App, just download it from your phone's app store, sign up, enter our code Stavvy, STAVVY, in your profile, send $5 to a friend, and you'll get $10 just for getting started. That's true 100%. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. This is it, baby. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code Stavvy, STAVVY, in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, 2 weeks. You can do that within 2 weeks. Send your pal $5 buckaroos, and you get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Was that your first? So were you a bartender? Like, what's your first job? Even as like a kid, what was that first one?
My very first job, I was a dance instructor.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because at my dance center, it was like once you hit a certain age, you got to be like the assistant teacher.
Gotcha.
So that was probably my first gig, but paid like shit.
Of course.
And you're just dealing with little kids who are trying to take their shirts off all day. I feel like that's all little kids in a leotard are all just like,
yeah.
You know, so you're just trying to keep kids clothed.
They are cute though when you put little kids in like costumes.
The best.
They should, or little uniforms.
Yeah.
That is fucking cute.
It's very cute.
Like a kid's soccer, when they got little shin guards.
And
they're so
they're
cute.
so
they're
tiny.
so little.
It's your whole shin.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was first job.
Interesting.
But then most of it's been food service. I waitress. My mom was a bartender my whole life, so
nice.
I grew up in a bar
bartender
restaurant.
nepo baby.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was born into it.
Damn, a mom bartender your whole life.
Yeah.
My mom was a waitress when I was little, but bartender does feel a little more hardcore.
Cool. It was cool. Yeah, she was like a, stereotypical Boston lady. Mm-hmm. Didn't take no guff.
No guff
type of a deal. Yeah. So that was fun. And then what I always loved is every Christmas we would have this Christmas party that was like partially family, partially my brother's friends, partially my friends, and then my mom's regulars from her bar.
Wow.
So it was like they were like family.
She allowed the
right, the good ones. The
it's
ones
really
who passed
Cheers,
test.
huh?
Yeah.
You motherfucker, you were literally living Cheers.
Yeah.
Your mom. That's so funny. Damn, mom bartender is fun. Yeah. That is very fun.
She's a cool chick.
And she was just working, like, was she around during the day? Like, was she sleeping it off, or what were we talking?
No, she was around during the day. And then she'd go to work at night and come home around like 2. There were a couple years there where I tried to push my dad was an accountant, so during tax season he would like work late or stay at work or whatever was happening. Yeah. And then my mom would come home at 2, so I'd have people over until 1.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was, I got caught very quickly.
Interesting.
But I was really like,
what's the best?
Why not?
Yeah, what's the best? Was there like a legendary night at the Nolans? What was your best one?
Oh, I was going to say bad legendary.
Give me both.
There was a time that a kid I wasn't even really friends with was there. He was down in the garage.
That'll happen, by the way. They'll find their way in. Yeah.
But this kid was like early in the rounds of people showing up, so I wasn't already at the point where I was like, fuck you can't come in.
Yeah.
And I think I like wanted to be his friend, so I was like, yeah, you guys can, whatever. And then later in the night, I'm drunk. Somebody like knocked on the door. I opened it. I did not know these people. Did not know these people at all. Didn't even like, and I had a big high school. I'm like, I don't even recognize you from my school.
Yeah.
I do not know you. And they didn't really ask. One of them just like walked in straight down into the garage, punched that kid in the face.
Oh, no.
And then they left.
What did he
so
do?
Clearly they had just gotten information that that's where he was.
Wow.
He was like bleeding from his face. Luckily, I guess, in the garage.
Sure.
If that had been anywhere else in the house, that might have been a nightmare.
You get it on the ottoman, that's a big problem.
Right? But
you
actually,
just hose it down in the garage.
But getting blood on the into the concrete was kind of hard to get out. Like it soaked in, it felt like. So we really did have to like hose it. I think there's still a stain there.
Honestly, you should have put like motor oil over top of it.
Yeah,
should have made a new stain.
You're right.
Or you should have been like, Mom, I'm building you a birdhouse, and like spray painted it and got, oh no, I got a little red spray.
Oh no,
I
but
painted you
only
a red
because I love you so much.
I love you so much.
To make you this little birdhouse. Yeah, I got caught anytime I tried to have a party, and it was a lot of times, but I always got caught.
That is cool.
Somebody always did something dumb.
Having access to an unsupervised garage till 1 a.m., that must have been good for you in high school.
You'd think.
Yeah.
You'd think. It didn't necessarily help
translate?
with the popularity.
You were a fucking loser?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, not like a huge one. My house got egged a lot.
What? Why?
I think it started, I don't remember how it started, but once people heard that it happened, then they were like, oh, the house that's right across from the middle school. And it was just like, we were on a busy street. And then every time it happened, my dad would wake me up and be like, your friends egged the house again. And I said, what about this leads you to believe these people are my friends? Yeah. Why would my
Did you have enemies? What the fuck's going on here?
I don't know. I was the older girls. I don't know.
No. Did they fucking stuff you in a locker?
They wanted to. The lockers were too small, I guess, so they had to egg. My egg is a pain in the ass.
Egg's tough
to get off the side of your house.
There's a reason.
I know.
That's the classic thing to do. It sucks.
Easy to throw and hard to clean up.
Fun.
It sucks.
The noise is fun when an egg bursts. Wow.
God damn.
They've fucking. Inflation has stolen the joy of egging.
True.
There's no way kids are egging anymore. What do you even do now?
What do they do now?
What do the kids? I mean, I guess they don't do anything fucking cool.
They don't even talk to each other. Yeah. They just all on screens.
They're on screens. They're
I feel
all.
bad
I guess
for
they're
them.
They're kind of driving each other to suicide through online bullying.
Right, and they do have that. They do have. They have hobbies. They're not just sitting around. They're doing something.
They're leaking each other's nudes, trying to ruin each other's lives.
God damn.
It's a simpler time,
So many nudes, and are they even fucking? I feel like the kids aren't fucking.
Yeah,
like
I think it's so. There is a big everyone's worried that kids aren't fucking.
Yeah.
Kind of. I guess it hit Japan first.
Yeah.
Because I remember that's all I used to hear was no one in Japan has sex, and now it feels like it's coming down the pike.
Yeah.
For us, which real shame for those kids. I mean, I guess now every kid just has my high school experience.
Welcome to it.
Yeah. I guess I was ahead of. I was a trailblazer, not having sex until
we turned out okay.
We did.
You're a tastemaker. Man.
But we wanted. That's the difference, Eldest. We desperately wanted to fuck.
We also grew up with them being like, "Don't fuck."
It's true.
Don't fuck. At least the girls. It was always just like, "You're gonna get pregnant. Don't fuck."
Yeah.
And I listened. What an idiot.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you're right.
Oh, that's why they thought you were a loser.
I don't want. That's probably it. Yeah, we're getting to the real bottom of it now.
All the other girls in, where was it? Did you say Framingham?
That's right.
They're sucking and fucking.
Yeah.
They're hanging out. I
was scared.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll be the girl who does ecstasy once and dies. I'll be the girl who has sex once and gets pregnant.
Yeah.
And so I just, stayed away from it all.
Was it like a religious? Were you like religious?
I mean, I was raised, but not like super duper.
Yeah. Like the classic
I went to
Catholic stuff.
I went all the way through confirmation so that I could get married in it. My mom's thing was like, at least get confirmed so you can be married in a church if you want to.
That really
and I
panned
guess,
out.
Yeah. I mean, been engaged for like 5 years. I don't think I'm getting married in any building at this point.
There's no, that's hysterical to think about Dan getting married in a church.
I know.
That's so, Dan is obviously one of my best friends, and he's also the most classic, just I guess I just think of him, I would classify him as a South Park atheist. You know what I mean? He's from Colorado, he loves weed, he loves South Park. There's no way I could see that man getting married in a church. I mean, he would do it.
Yeah.
It's also funny to think of him even though he would look great in a suit, it's funny to think of him comfortable in a suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen him in suits, I think probably.
Cleans up nice.
He cleans up nice. I've seen him at other
camera.
weddings. I've seen him, but it's just, I feel like at his wedding, he should be, which he won't.
This is why it's so hard to plan.
He should be in sweatpants.
I can't picture what the fuck. Everyone's like, just do it for you two. If it was for us, we would just stay home with the dog and play video games and eat whatever treats we wanted to. I can't picture how to throw a party.
Friends would come in and out.
Yes. Yes.
That
hang out with
fun.
us.
We could get
drugs.
that going.
We could try.
Let's just do that.
Okay.
Let's get.
Perfect.
How about rent out a Pizza Hut? Find one of the old
one of the ones
school,
that look like the old.
Honestly,
yeah.
I'm kind of jealous. I haven't told you this. I want this for my wedding.
With the remember those chandeliers that were
like? Of course, Okay, this is actually what should be happening.
Yeah.
And if they don't exist, the money people spend on, you should spend that to recreate a Pizza Hut. That would be, honestly, the best wedding of all time.
This is the most excited I've felt for planning a wedding.
Can we do?
So I do feel like
you've
this? Struck something.
I'm calling Dan immediately after this because I think this is a great. I actually think this is a great idea, and I actually am afraid our listeners are going to scoop you.
Don't do it
because we have trash. We also have trash listeners. Who who probably live in the kind of town where Pizza Hut is still. There's like 8
Are
towns
there some
probably
still kicking around?
I think so. Yeah.
I bumped into a Friendlies in the wild recently, and was like, well, I have to go to this.
I didn't know it was a Boston thing because we had it. I loved Friendlies. It had traveled to Baltimore.
Yeah.
And that little watermelon, slice. You remember that shit? The ice cream,
the Jubilee roll, whatever that was. I loved it.
Their fucked up little steak
chicken
fries.
Fingers with that honey mustard.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. Were you ever a Friendlies guy, Eldest?
I liked Friendlies. I don't remember any of the things you guys are naming though. I remember like the sundae. They had the
they had sundae.
Yeah,
of course,
with the upside down, with the cone on it, and they made it look like a person. With
the smiley face. Yeah, that is good.
My family never went there. We only went there for like school trips and shit. So maybe I just remember the little lunch.
I remember that. Yeah, we literally were on the same field trip. I remember that field trip.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right, dude. This is so fucked up. It was a green piece of paper. I remember the exact menu that he's talking about because I was like, when did I have a hamburger at Friendly's? It was that school trip.
Yeah.
And then one other time, my family, like a family friend would take me out. Like she was like my aunt, but not one of those classic. You think she's your aunt your whole life,
and later
then
you're
like,
wait,
as
what?
soon as you understand how to do genealogy, you're like, we're not related at all. She would like take me. She would take me like every 3 months. She would like, hey, let's take the kids out, and she took me to Friendly's once. We had like a proper meal.
It was,
but before that, it was just
aunt
ice
and
cream.
Friend and It was
grandma.
never like
I feel like grandmas would take you to Friendly's.
Yeah, it always felt like a weird meeting where you weren't like relaxed. You were just like, okay.
Yeah. But the ice cream,
tasty,
great
a real
stuff.
tasty treat.
Wow. R.I.P. Friendly's. The world we grew up in is
gone.
disintegrating.
Ground round gone.
Yeah.
The 99, is that a thing? Was that just Massachusetts? You guys have the 99?
I don't know about the 99.
It was like one of those restaurants. Bennigan's.
Bennigan's.
Dan and I just ate at a Bennigan's on our holiday trip.
Where?
It was in, like Des Moines, maybe? It was somewhere. We drive across through the middle of the country.
Driving.
Yeah, because our dog can't fly and we want to take our dog for Christmas. I felt too bad leaving her every holiday. So we drive. It's actually not bad, except for the one time we had to sleep in the parking lot of a Motel 6 in Nebraska. That fucking sucked.
There was a snowstorm or something?
Yeah. It was too windy.
Too windy to drive?
Apparently, it's so flat in Nebraska that if you're driving on the highway and it's really windy, then a truck could get flipped over and then everybody's in danger. So we had to sleep in the parking lot of a Motel 6 with a dog. Very humbling.
That's
in
tough.
a car. She had the whole back seat and we just had our two seats like reclined.
Couldn't get the room, huh?
Really awful. No, they filled up. It was all truckers. We couldn't get in. They let us use their bathroom, which was very nice.
That's nice of them.
But we were driving through and we saw Bennigan's on a sign on our way out. And so then we planned our trip back. We were like, we had just eaten and we were like, no. And so we planned on our trip back that's where it was attached to a hotel. So we were like, we'll stay here on our way back. It was worth it.
Bennigan's.
It was tasty.
It's, we were an Applebee's, then Chili's family,
no TGI Fridays in the mix.
We skipped TGI Fridays completely.
Yeah.
Eldest was a TGI Friday.
We were big
family.
on Fridays.
Those Jack Daniels chicken strips. That was my high school.
The
experience.
Jack Daniels burger. That was my.
Eldest still fondly recalls the Jack Daniels burger.
I've been talking about it a lot. I should just go get
Bring
one.
it back. Do they still have it? They might.
I think they do. I think I looked up a menu recently.
You looked up a menu? What?
It just sounds good. I want that fucking.
You're just at home
sauce.
Googling what's TGI Fridays current national menu just so you have the information.
Yeah, Jack Daniels burger.
That's so fucking funny.
Fridays.
Yeah,
it's just a burger.
Yeah, they throw a little barbecue.
They have that
sauce.
sweet sauce you like drench it in.
It's
that's
barbecue
what's on the
sauce,
chicken. That's
man.
what's tasty.
No, but it's like it's
sticky
thinner
glaze.
than barbecue sauce. It's like
sweet,
thinner and
sticky-
sweeter. Or
No.
No.
This is
It's
the
more of a
believe me.
glaze.
I do believe you. I mean, you've had this burger a lot.
Yeah.
I remember your sister taking us out to get Jack Daniels burgers a couple times.
That's a good sister.
Yeah, she's
That's
awesome.
a really good sister.
It's hot. It's summertime. You see, I'm sweating. I was out getting steps. I want to show you. I'm a man that suffers during the summer. You see how I'm glistening. I already got 10,000 steps. So I don't want to brag halfway through the day. But when I'm out there trudging along, when I'm out there with these thick, generous thighs sweating up a storm, you know what's very important? My underwear. All right, you got to be comfortable. You got to get the right stuff. That's why I'm a MeUndies guy. They have this micro-modal fabric, legit magic, super soft. They feel, I will say this, which I like, they feel a little tighter than other underwear that I've tried. They kind of hug you in just the right way, but they're very soft. I started wearing them actually last summer before they were in a sponsor. When I went out to England, I was doing a movie. That's where I started kind of getting my steps in a lot. I wasn't satisfied with my underwear. I started experimenting. I bought a bunch of different ones. MeUndies were the ones that made the cut for me. The comfort is unbelievable. Like I said, that breathable micro-modal just hugging your you-know-whats. Your fat little you-know-whats getting enveloped by that beautiful fabric. Eldest, you need to get it. If you're not on these will change your life. I know your ass chafes left and right.
I know. I need to get
You
some.
got to get on the MeUndies. I did. Not only did I have some, they sent us a box. I kept them for myself. Maybe Eldest gets the second. Maybe if you motherfuckers buy some MeUndies, we can get eldest some as well. So
please.
Yeah, you don't want to see the whole ridden underwear this guy is dragging along these days.
Please, it's literally 100 degrees out today.
We love MeUndies. You'll love them too. Right now, as a listener of my show, you can score sizzling summer deals like up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/Stavvy and enter promo code Stavvy. That's MeUndies.com/Stavvy, promo code Stavvy for up to 50% off MeUndies, comfort that's made for summer. So you were a dance instructor, so that means you were a dancer, huh?
Yeah, I also, better job story about dancing. I was a bar mitzvah dancer.
A bar mitzvah dancer? What does that even mean?
So when you go, you've been to a bunch of bar mitzvahs,
I've been to a few, yeah.
They usually have like the DJ, and then they'll have like the... 2 or 3, depending on the budget.
Sure.
Young
to get the
women,
party going.
Yeah, we're the party starters.
So you were really an incredibly low-level sex worker.
Yes.
Yes. You're an escort.
Yes.
For 12-year-old Jewish boys.
I was like a geisha. More like a geisha. I would pour the sodas.
Just like,
I would facilitate conversation.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious, dude.
Please don't touch.
You'll do like some of this with a 12-year-old boy.
I'll go dance like when they do the snowball dances. When like they'd start with the birthday boy or girl or whatever, and then and they would split off and they'd each pick someone. I would always pick the kid you knew probably wasn't gonna get picked, so that they could feel like they were a part of it.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
that there's like. How do you even get that job? Who recommends you?
So I did it. I feel like my memory for my own life is really shady, but I feel like I did it in high school because I knew my friend's sister worked for a DJ company, so I worked with them, and it was like, for that age,
the money was
great. It was like $25 an hour.
Yeah.
And it was like a 4-hour party.
Yeah.
And then depending on who's, paying, sometimes you'd each get a tip. Sometimes you'd get to eat from their sick carving station.
The carving stations were out of control in bar mitzvahs.
But then other times you'd go to a really rich one, they'd have a carving station, and then you'd be eating like a salad in the back.
That's crazy.
Like, this sucks.
Insane.
You're not even eating all of it.
That's nuts.
It's sitting there on the bone.
Food.
But so the pay was great for high school, and then in college, I think I just I was like, well, now we're on Long Island, so this is where the real money is. These are like weddings.
Was scavenging in Framingham, Massachusetts.
Having to travel a bunch. Then when I get to Long Island, I'm like, I can go down. I can do 2 in a night. I can hit up 2 bar mitzvahs, make a ton of money. And so I think my roommate and I got into that together, which was nice.
That is nice, and I'm glad. It also does feel like a feeder system for trafficking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did get out, and I think I looked back and was like, oh, I got out. Like, I didn't...
That is so fucking funny to be like, gotta keep the party live. We're hiring, like, college girls
to dance
with 11-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I will say the thing that got me out of it was it got really bleak towards the end, again, as a child who didn't fuck.
Yeah.
Hearing these 13-year-olds, because that's what a bar mitzvah is, you're celebrating turning 13, talking about, like, I'd go over and use my old moves from when I was in high school and be like, how come we're not dancing with those girls over there?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, she's ran through. She sucked my dick. I'm like, what? You're 13! It was too much. The dynamic
That's so
changed.
Fucking funny.
It was and once I was like, oh, you're all fucking? This feels so different. The meat station's uncomfortable now. I don't want to be around
you're right,
this.
because if the kids aren't fucking, you're essentially like a lady who's like hired to dress up as a Disney princess for a child's party.
Yes.
But when they start fucking, that's when you are now an escort.
Now I'm like, don't look at me like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to dance with any of you.
Yeah.
Ran through? She's 13. There's no way she's ran through.
It was fucking long. Yeah, I mean, I remember one time in middle school, in gym, it's 8th grade, and it's like the end of the year. We're 8th graders. It's like an open period. They don't, we're playing like pickup games, and a lot of kids are just chilling, talking. And I overheard like these kids making plans to get, like, 2 dudes and a girl are making plans for her to suck their dicks.
Sick.
And I was like, what? You guys get head? And you're just openly, you're not like nervous to like kiss a girl. You're like, okay, so, you know, clock's ticking. Are you going to suck us off or not? Like, not only were they getting head, but it was so normal to them.
Impatient about it.
That they like were calmer about it than I am, like, even now.
Yeah.
As like a 36-year-old man, these kids, and then the funniest thing was I'm like dribbling a ball. I overhear this and I go like I drop the ball. The ball's just, and they see my face being like, and they're like, he listening. And they're like, now they're pointing at me like, yo, look, he listening. And I was like, and then I go like miss a layup or something. I was like, no, I've gotten head before. I've certainly kissed a woman once.
Oh no,
it was fucking awesome.
Oh no.
And then they were literally more mature than I am now. They're like, and then they like kind of laughed it off and like went back to their plan. Like they didn't even. Here's how it's even more devastating. They didn't even feel the need to bully me. They were like, that poor kid.
Let him listen.
Anyway, let's go get our dicks sucked.
Let him listen while we get our dicks sucked.
Oh man, that was yeah. That really was. I think there was some fear, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Orthodox. You know, we're Greek Orthodox, and it sounds way more hardcore than it is.
I was gonna say, what's the big thing? What's Greek Orthodox's big? Like, we weren't allowed to something.
See, nothing really.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, the first time I did touch tits was in my church, actually. Like,
shout out.
Kind of similar to like how Jewish kids would like go to camp or whatever.
Right.
We had like a youth group. People were like making out. I touched titties in 9th grade at the Greek fest. I was drunk and touching titties upstairs.
In 9th grade?
9th or 10th,
Sick.
yeah. But don't get me wrong, that was it. It was like a little. That's almost like God teasing me, like, hey man,
like, here's what
you're gonna
have to
touch
look forward
tits
to.
twice in one summer. And then say goodbye to them till college. It was actually more cruel than not letting me touch tits.
You'd almost rather not know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Then instead you're at home being like,
It's just like looking at my hand,
this, but this,
crying. And I think I've told the story before, but not only did I experienced like sort of that girl. It was like kind of awesome. I was like, whoa, this girl's letting me touch this. We went to the same high school, and then I hit her up, you know, on MySpace. This is the days we're talking,
right?
And she's like, haha, last night was pretty crazy. Don't remember anything. How about you? And then I was like, ha ha ha. Me neither. And she's like posting a picture with like her she had a boyfriend she was like cheating on.
You touched taking tits?
I had touched taking tits. Yep. And then she kind of played it off. And like I was nothing but a piece of ass for the night to her.
Damn, you got used.
I got used.
Used and discarded.
And I was like, of course. I was like, well, I'm essentially married now. This is my wife.
I will be loyal to her for the rest of my life.
I'm literally like, well, I have a girlfriend.
Well, I can only think about her when I masturbate. No more porn for me.
You know what? Maybe it was 10th. Was it 11th grade? Because I had
the number keeps going up. I see.
Yeah. It was 4 days ago.
My first set.
That was one. Okay, no, one was 10th grade, and then this girl that I'm thinking of was 11th because I had a job, an after school job.
Oh yeah, you were a working man.
I was a working man.
You needed those tips.
I was a telemarketer.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's way too young to be a telemarketer.
Oh yeah, I mean, we 100% aided in the mortgage crisis. It was a company called American Government Mortgage.
Yeah, that's what they're all called. I feel.
Well, they're called
some form of words that sound important and correct.
It's supposed to be.
Did you know Dan got scammed? Did Dan tell you he got scammed?
No. When? Recently or back in the day?
A couple days ago.
Oh no!
I shouldn't share this. This is his story to share. I shouldn't share it. Stavros, I stepped out of the house for just a little bit.
Oh no!
I went to do a podcast.
No!
And when I came home, I mean, he full on like wrote on a Post-it note, and it's.
Okay.
I'll say less.
I'll ask him.
Holy shit!
I think he probably is coming to do the pod next week or a couple weeks from now. Make him
tell you the story.
I can't wait. That's so fucking funny that he got
so
scammed.
Embarrassing. Oh my god, so embarrassing.
There are some scams going around.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's
American government mortgage or whatever.
Yeah, well, to my credit, I was so bad. Nobody ever filled out an application. I was so bad at the job.
I mean,
I was on
MySpace.
Sales.
Yeah, cold calling. I just would right that I called and they didn't answer. I didn't call. I don't want to call anybody.
Yeah.
That sucks. Hi, do you want a gym membership? No. If they did, they'd be here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call and sell them. That's not going to work.
That must work like 1 out of... Were there people that were good at that?
Yes. This kid, really? Andre, he had this like phone bank and he would just... He never left his office. You never saw him give a tour of the gym.
Really?
You never saw him like do any outreach. He just had his leads. He would call them, and he would lead the company in sales. I never figured out how he did it, but there had to be some sort of nefariousness.
You think it was nefarious?
I don't know. I think he had other people making calls for him.
Oh,
I don't know. It was an interesting sale. I'm not built for the sales world.
Yeah.
I don't have that like, God, I hit my quota.
You have to be so pushy.
I was making people sign up for this gym that was like a lot of money
it's like $300
a
month
during the recession when people were losing their jobs. I was locking them into 1-year contracts and being like, oh, you got fired? Unfortunately, I do still need you to uphold your end of the deal. I felt really shitty about that.
They made you like call and be like,
well,
hey.
they would come in and go like, can we cancel our membership? And I was like, unfortunately, you're on your first year.
Wow.
So for a year, you are locked in.
Holy shit.
Once the year is up, I could cancel.
Damn.
I think they eventually reversed that policy. So I think enough people were like, this is fucked up.
I mean, that's insane.
We don't have jobs.
The fact that gyms are able to just be like, no, you have to do a little obstacle course if
in
you
order
want
to
cancel.
Come in, talk to me for an hour.
Write me a letter. It's like, what the fuck is this?
I know. It's
this
crazy.
This is a gym.
Yeah. We should be able to just go,
I can cancel anything.
Cancel.
Yeah.
Even cable now is easier than it used to be. But gyms, you've got to...
Yeah, they make you jump through fucking hoops. And I don't know why that's... How strong is the gym lobby that they're allowed to do that legally?
I think it's that their business model runs on people paying for it and not going.
Yeah, of course.
So once you're in that situation, they would love to keep you in that situation. Of course. Because if everybody came in, there wouldn't be enough machines.
Yeah.
So they want
especially
the people.
Literally Planet Fitness cannot house the amount of people.
It's like the way that we had to hit our quota every month in sales. I think early in my tenure, 6 months, I said like, where are we putting all these people? And they looked at me with the like, oh, honey, they don't show up. It's, you sort of just keep selling every month to more people that can't fit into the same gym. So I think that's why they make it hard to cancel, because they're like, this keeps us afloat.
This is how we rob people.
If people who didn't want to be here could cancel easily, we'd make no money.
Yeah. I mean, they'd still get people like me who just forget.
Yeah.
I let stuff ride way too long.
Same.
Way too long.
I had 2 health insurances for a while.
Did you go to the doctor?
Because I had never had health insurance through work. For some reason, something about being on-air talent, they never give you the benefits stuff. Yeah. So I'd gotten it through the marketplace. And then when I got to ESPN, they were like, we're giving you health insurance. I was like, sick. But I didn't cancel my other one in time, and I didn't understand the coverages of the one for ESPN, and that was only costing me $12 out of a paycheck.
Yeah. So whatever. So
I was like, whatever.
Double doctor, baby.
2 health insurances.
Yeah. I want Xanax twice. I want 2 Xanny prescriptions. Make it happen. Ooh, Eldest, you know it's summertime. You know it's barbecue time, picnic time, hang out with the boys, get on a hammock and chill out time. And no matter what you're doing on this summer, you know what kind of beverage is going to help keep you not only cool, but it's going to help you keep it something else. Twisted. That's right. It's going to help you keep it twisted. Our friends over at Twisted Tea, our favorite beverage here at Stavvy's World, we keep it the motherfuck twisted, and you know that by now. Delicious, goes down smooth, a lot of different flavors, no pesky carbonation to stop you from letting it go down smooth. There's nothing I hate more than carbonation making a beverage not smooth. Well, good news, because this 5% by volume real brewed iced tea concoction, 5%, like I said, ABV, full flavor, refreshing. You're going to love it. You love it by now. You're probably drinking it. This is Twisted Tea's wasting their money advertising. You're probably already, it's so ubiquitous on the show. Don't tell them that, by the way. I want to. This is the only way.
It's not. Stop.
This is the only way Eldest can afford a home some days. If Twisted Tea keeps, I cut him a deal. He gets 1% of all our earnings from Twisted Tea. That's his whole salary.
I'm really pushing for a fully annual sponsored year by Twisted Tea.
Honestly, and we're gonna put this in the middle of an advertisement. We want more advertisements. Twisted Tea, put us on TV. Let us be the face of Twisted Tea. We're ready, Twisted Tea, and we know you know what's gonna make that happen, folks. You You know what you're going to do this summer? You're going to grab a refreshing twisted tea, and you're going to keep it twisted. I mean, we should, look, we have some questions to get to, but we do, we have a sports professional here. We should talk about how it's like, do you think the New England Patriots did a monkey paw wish to be a dynasty, and they were like, whatever it takes, after we retire, our lives are ruined. Do you think that's what's happening with Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the Kraft family? What do you think? Because it is hilarious that Bill Belichick is dating literally, let's say someone who's the age to be a bar mitzvah dancer. You know what I mean?
She'd be great. She would kill it.
She would actually crush it.
She would kill it. She's got the personality
She's
for
got
it.
the range.
She sure does.
She can entertain an old man. She can entertain an 11-year-old boy.
She can pretend to enjoy something, clearly.
Yeah.
It's mortifying. The first person I actually talked to about it when it was, the story was starting to break, I was doing the Great British Bake Off.
Oh, wow.
With DK Metcalf. And he just he goes, how about Bill's new girlfriend? And looked at me like that. And I was like, look, I'm just glad he waited till he wasn't here
right.
anymore
but I don't know.
To do that.
Stuff's coming out.
Yeah, I know.
She might have been around.
She probably was, but at least we didn't know. At least it wasn't a story at the time.
Right. At least they had the decency to threaten reporters for 2 years.
I know.
He's about to retire. This is what you want to do to his legacy. You ever want to be back in here again? You want access ever? Shut the fuck up about this.
It's just.
She's his nurse, if anybody asks.
Well, pretty soon she would be. So she should know. That's what she's. Look, I don't know. I keep going back and forth on it because part of me, I'm like, look. If you're willing to have sex with Bill Belichick, who am I to say that's not worth $8 million in a real estate portfolio?
Tip of the cap for a true hustler.
You are doing it.
For a bag chaser to the absolute max.
Right.
You got to respect her. The Belichick family's nervous. That's how you know she's onto something. Because it started leaking where, his family's like, look, man, we don't fucking like it either.
We don't know what this is about.
And no one is happy about it.
She's younger than his kids, his youngest kid. His daughter, I believe, is in her later 30s.
She is a third of his age, right?
Yeah, she's 24, 5, and he is, and there's questions about that.
I know.
He is 74 or 5.
I mean,
it's or 72 or 3.
Okay.
Sorry, that 1 year makes the difference. But
Belichick's
he's 72.
Okay, close to 3
and she's
times.
24.
That's Is that exactly 3? I think it is. I'm a math genius.
Not
if she's
me.
24, yeah.
Yeah, so she's
Look, and I'm no prude here. And I'm not even an age gap guy.
This is an alarming
50
gap.
years is kind of tough.
My dad shouldn't split the difference between my boyfriend and I. That's crazy.
Oh,
wow. Who can relate better to my dad, me or my boyfriend, coming from two different sides?
And it's kind of a stretch for your dad.
I know.
It's not, there's a 50-year-old guy and a 72-year-old guy. It's not guaranteed they'll even be friends.
I know.
But his daughter?
I know.
It is hilarious. It's like, damn, what was he up to before?
I know. I just think the wildness of it for me is just the shell shock of
out of nowhere.
And just in Bill we trust. It was like the mantra was like the Patriot way, do your job. In Bill we trust, everything is going to work itself out. It's run like a machine. And then now...
Yeah.
I don't know.
North Carolina has got to be so pissed.
I think they're at least a little bit what's going on?
Yeah. To hire Bill Belichick. It was already look, he might not even though I do think he was, I hate to fucking, give anybody from your favorite organization any credit, but I do think he, even at the end, was still a good defensive coach.
Yeah.
I mean, their offense was absolute dog shit, but I think he still was even when they were really blowing it, he still was, clearly had something in the tank.
Very talented.
And as a prestige hire, it's we're North Carolina. We've always been kind of a second rate. We've always been a basketball school. We've had some fun players and some good teams, but no, we've never really been a program. And it's this will put us on the map as we are going to turn into a respected football program. And to be oh, and by the way, there's a whole, no one is talking about our football team. Everyone's talking about how Belichick's girlfriend could be a TA at at North Carolina. She could literally be a dumb senior at the school.
Yes.
She could still be enrolled there. She could easily be a grad student. Everyone's talking about that. No one's talking about it, and it's going to be so funny to just watch.
Very fascinated to see how the season goes, because college football fans famously aren't afraid to use anything they know about you against you. And so I can't imagine it's going to be a lot of people just being like, that's great. Good for them. I hope they're happy.
I guess they're lucky that Duke is their biggest, obviously it's their biggest basketball rival, but it's like Duke also, so I mean, they're kind of in the same boat where they've had some randomly good years, but I don't know if they're supposed to be good this year, but that's the team.
I don't know anything about college football anymore because it's all different now. The system has completely upended. All the conferences are different. None of the numbers match up with the numbers of teams.
Hey, nice try. We're still talking about Belichick, okay?
But there's this big shift.
You're a pro. I see what you're doing.
Paying athletes.
And you made a good point. You almost got me. But we are gonna circle back to the embarrassing thing about your favorite coach, okay? And then also, I think it works also with Brady, obviously, because it's like his life has completely fallen to. I really think these are the most cautionary tale. Like, greatness destroys you.
It's
at a not price. Worth it.
Right.
It's like
that's why we haven't done it.
That's also that's exactly why we're not in the top 100 pod. We're barely hanging on to the top 100 comedy charts, let alone the overall charts. That's what it is. We don't want to pay the price, baby.
No.
We're here at Stavvy's World, we're comfortable peaking at 70 on the top 100 when we have a famous guest on.
But it feels that way. It feels like you're cool with it.
I actually
is the vibe I'm getting.
I literally am. It rocks. But it's just so funny that there's you saw it with The Last Dance too. It's like, did Jordan look like a guy who was happy?
No.
How his eyes are jaundiced.
I know.
They're yellow as fuck.
I know. And he's going back to work.
That
made me go wait. We are definitely in a recession.
Yeah.
I know the gambling, whatever.
Yeah, how down is he in blackjack? that he's taking a fucking...
How could you possibly need to come back to work?
Yeah, I think he just doesn't want to be alone with his thoughts, is my guess.
Yeah, and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But it's just with all these athletes coming in and doing podcasts now, you're just like, okay, and what about those of us who just like to watch sports?
Yeah.
Who are just here because they think it's fun and entertaining.
I know. For me, I'll take it a step further. It's like, get the fuck off my fucking block, you motherfuckers. This is all we have.
Yes.
You're rich. You were at least most of you are still in pretty good shape. You're, the ones who want to be in media are probably handsome or beautiful. Get the fuck away from us.
Just leave the podcast
We get
alone.
Podcasting. Go be on TV at least, you motherfuckers. We can't have podcasts.
You're the only ones they're paying, so just go get paid by them.
Yeah.
And let us just sit in on our couches.
Yeah.
In our yucky clothes, talking into our microphones. Why do you have to take this?
Yeah, they want to take it all from us. And you know what? We won't let you. No. We're fighting tooth and nail.
That's right.
Go listen to Casuals.
That's right. Right now.
Now. Great show. And yes, Brady's got cucked to oblivion. He sucks at calling games. Everyone's shitting on him for that. That feels good to me.
He's working on it.
Yeah,
Look, you throw somebody in 1 year into calling a game like the Super Bowl.
I know.
It's tough. It's a challenge.
But that's also the ego of being I can be the best. It's like,
if I can play it, I can talk about it. Yeah, I get that. I'd probably be that way too.
And obviously, craft, sex.
That was before, though.
That was before. That was kind of the harbinger.
He was kind of the first one to go.
That was like the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
But just would like to bring that up for the record.
Thank
the
you.
Kraft family.
Yes, please. Anything else?
A billionaire took a private jet to go to a weird, shitty massage parlor where the women are mistreated.
Very normal.
Instead of just paying, and we're pro sex work here, by the way. Instead of just paying a high end sex, he's a fucking billionaire.
Instead of just having a bar mitzvah for your kid,
getting a bar mitzvah, chatting up the hottest dancer, and being like, "How would you like to not have to work for 2 years?"
Perfect.
How would you like
in the pipeline?
How would you like a condo?
Welcome to the organization. Come on.
Yeah,
in.
why don't that's the most despicable thing, because it's so clearly a guy that wants someone whose life is bad to jerk him off. Yeah. Instead of he doesn't want to let a nut off. Who amongst us doesn't want to let a nut off?
Right.
You know what I mean? With his resources,
right.
You could be dealing with some of the greatest minds and talents in the making people nut.
Innovators in the space.
Innovators in the space. Women who are doing stuff I can't even think of right now. But no, he gasses up the private jet to go to Florida. And so anyway, just wanted to...
So anyway, those are all the indiscretions from people associated with my team. Also, Aaron Hernandez and the murder and stuff.
Yeah, and we don't, and that's actually where this ends. We don't have to talk about the Baltimore Ravens or anything like that. And why don't we start? And why don't we start doing the questions now, Eldis?
Remember the deer piss?
The deer piss was. I'm pro steroids though, so I don't even care.
You saw they're coming out with a pro steroid league.
Yes, that
in
does
Vegas.
Look cool. I hate that it's Peter Thiel.
Yeah,
because he is a fucking piece of shit. But. Yeah. The enhanced games is a great idea.
Enhanced games.
You kind of have to, again, tip your cap because...
Someone's going to die.
Hey, they're going to die. You know what I mean?
They're going one way or another.
They're going one way or another.
Sure.
Let's get in the... I guess you're right, because can you have limits on the amount of steroids?
I don't know. See, that I got to look into that. But they should have, like,
you can do a couple... Limits.
Their whole pitch was that they want to unlock... human potential.
Right.
They feel that leagues are stifling our ability to really push the limits.
I do think steroids obviously baseball is cool. That's the last time it was like fun to watch baseball.
Disagree.
Yeah, Disagree. I know you're a big baseball guy.
Me personally, but I get it. I know it's not for everybody.
No. It was obviously. And I'm a little mad because the Orioles suck this year. We're gonna figure it out.
Last place currently.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. I thought
you're on a little heater.
What happened to new owner? Didn't even spend that much money.
Yeah, that
fucking pissed me off.
Yeah,
we get a new owner. We're finally free of that cheapskate Greek. and now anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. But steroids are cool. But you saying that somebody's gonna die, and the fact that it is Peter Thiel, it's like, oh, they really are just trying to accelerate. Because you could argue that the NFL, even right now, is taking mostly poor people and giving them brain damage for our entertainment.
Yeah, their ticket out of the life that they were born into is brain damage.
Yeah.
Basically, if you boil it down.
And then when you really look at how much like NFL players make and how much the average career is, really, you could argue not worth it.
Yeah.
You'd be so much better off having a fucking blue collar job, actually, probably, right?
I don't know anymore because the job market's a mess, but that sounds right.
I mean, we're not the stars, obviously, but like when we're talking about special teams guys and stuff like that,
guys who are like on practice squads,
who average
for a few
5 years in the league and make league minimum or maybe a couple $1,000,000 that after depending on where they live,
right,
after taxes, after agent stuff, like,
and they're out there just as bodies,
just
to like
bodies to get fucked
into other
up,
bodies,
right? But when you're talking about the enhanced games, like, oh, they're really just trying to accelerate how quickly they can use up a person.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you give somebody steroids and just to, like, get as fucking strong as possible, they will be so cool for 2 years, and they will probably be done. Like,
their heart's going to explode. There's just no way. They're like, I want to push the world record, so I'll do twice as much.
Damn.
And then that just feels like it could end
if
it ever even starts.
Thanks a lot. Now I'm not excited about the steroid thing anymore.
It's breaking me out in hives. So I too am anxious.
Folks, I think you need to know about our pals at Thuma. That's right. I personally have a bed frame from Thuma in Baltimore, my beautiful oasis. I wanted a nice piece of furniture that looked good, was easy to put together, and you know what I got? The Thuma bed frame. That's right. And I might be moving soon. You better believe I'm going to be on that Thuma website looking not just for the bed frames, but all types of different furniture. They got this, they use the technique of Japanese joinery, crafted from solid wood, precision cut for a silent, stable foundation. Literally, I can't put together shit. Took me 5 minutes to get this together just by myself. Clean lines, subtle curves, minimalist style. The Thuma bed collection is available in 4 signature finishes to match any design aesthetic. Headboard upgrades are available for customization as desired. I'm a minimalist. What can I say? I don't got the headboard. But if you wanna floss, you wanna flex on me, you get the headboard. To get $100 towards your first bed purchase, go to thuma.co/Stavvy, STAVVY. That's THUMA.co/Stavvy to receive $100 off your first bed purchase. All right, LD, why don't we
Let's take some calls.
Take some calls.
Hey, Stav. Big fan of the show. So I have a problem of sorts, and I just really love your opinion.
Okay.
I'll jump right into it. I've been with my current boyfriend for about 4 months. We have a bit of an age gap. It's 9 years. I'm currently 24.
Oh, Jordan age.
But at the beginning of our relationship, as one does,
I'm gonna guess he's older.
I hope,
because he would be 15
kind of
otherwise.
To know.
Let's finish up.
He's 9 years older, she said.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm currently 24. But at the beginning of our relationship, as one does, I stalked his socials and let me tell you, I'm really good at it. CIA level, deep. I'm looking at newspaper articles about him from when he was 8, kind of thing.
Sick.
But I didn't really have to dig that deep because I found on Facebook and Twitter some really cringe content, just I don't know. It's not anything that people would really post now.
Okay.
And it's I don't know. It's stuff that is kind of personal, or he's drunk, or it's fights with his girlfriend that he's posting about.
No.
Well, his girlfriend at the time. But I was just wondering, was that normal for the time? Because this is 15
Fuck
years
this
ago.
Girl.
I just wanted an old man's opinion. Back in the early days of the internet, is this regular? I'm too young to know
lady.
about Friendster.
Why don't you go suck off your white trash boyfriend, older boyfriend?
Your 15-year-old boyfriend.
Yeah. But anyway, let her finish.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't
we get it.
We get it.
I'm wondering if it's something that I can bring up to talk to him about, because I wouldn't necessarily be with someone that was posting kind of stuff like that now, just because it's unsettling and just really cringe.
Yeah.
I need an example.
But yeah, is that something I can talk to him about? Is it a red flag? Do you think someone who would do stuff like that in the past has changed a lot?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, anyways, thank you very much. I'd love your opinion. Anyway, thanks.
This is interesting. And okay, as much as it pains me to give her an actual answer, yes, there was a time where the internet really felt like a complete Wild West.
Yes.
Twitter, it's crazy that people, this point has been made a lot, but it's crazy that people get canceled for, we're getting canceled. That seems to be over. It's Twitter felt like nothing.
Nothing.
No one used it. It wasn't important. It was just the void. There's that classic tweet where that guy's I used to teach people how to cook crack on Twitter. Now you can't even call a fat bitch fat on Twitter, which is hysterical and exactly kind of the point.
Twitter, before it was an app, before we all had smartphones.
Yeah, it was just a weird little website.
You would text. You could save the number in your phone as Twitter, and you could send a text to Twitter, and it would post it as your tweet.
I know.
So I was firing off heading to class. It's useless information that nobody needed.
You would post lyrics, Lil Wayne lyrics. And I think a lot of white people got in trouble for quoting the N-word
Right, because before there wasn't a button for retweeting. You would have to write RT, then you would copy and paste their tweet.
Yeah.
And so when it was funny watching when that evolved into retweeting, people didn't realize what that was. They thought somebody was just typing. That's them retweeting someone else's tweet of lyrics. It
was very funny, and yes, people were doing, and Facebook was a bit of a, it would be what are you thinking about? And I think we deleted my Facebook when we were starting a business page or some shit. Smart. But boy, I will say this. I didn't do any of that, what she's talking about.
Yeah.
But did I read my Facebook's statuses and cringe about who I was when I was fucking 18 or in college, or we are talking about, this is the height of our inceldom.
Yeah.
And just the pathetic ways that I'm clearly trying to get a woman's attention.
Yeah.
Or the simp ass messages you would send or whatever. I just literally stuff that, because I'm okay with embarrassing myself and I share a lot, but when you just see a artifact, a true archaeological It's not your memories. It's not the way you prepare yourself. It's just the facts of who you are, and you can analyze what a fucking loser you were. That's gonna suck for anyone who didn't realize we also didn't know this would be around forever. It just felt like something you posted and it kind of disappeared.
Ephemeral.
It felt very ephemeral.
I'm just sending it out. No one's gonna read it. No one's gonna care.
Yes. So, part one is, can people change? Absolutely. Obviously, it kind of and I feel bad for kids now because they are just like gonna have what we described, but video of their whole lives and acting like fucking losers. Or it's gonna be even weirder where they develop some kind of weird split personality because everybody has to have the sort of like the
online
way like
version
celebrities have like manicured PR versions of themselves.
Yeah.
Children have to start doing that.
Yeah.
Either they will be embarrassed or they will become these weird little sociopaths that act like they act like their own publicist their whole life.
Yeah.
So to answer that part, yes, someone can change. Now, you do happen to have a clear look into what kind of person he was 10 to 15 years ago.
Sure.
And you can do a little, like, how bad is this stuff? You know what I mean? It's like...
Because my thought was, it might be cringy. It was 10 to 15 years ago, so he might have grown out of it. If it gives you the ick, if you read it and it made you go like, ew.
Well,
then that is, you can't, it's hard to move past that.
But see, here's what I'll say. Ick is one. I would say, I actually feel like if it's ick, you have to understand you're not dating him from 15 years ago.
Sure.
Right? Like,
sure.
And you have to be like, he was a loser, but yes, a lot of people, 15 years ago, you were fucking 9 or whatever the fuck. Right? Like, hopefully he doesn't want to date you 15 years ago either, right?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because that would be a big red flag, right?
Yeah.
I would say ick, you kind of have to like give him the benefit of the growing out of. I would say, are there bigger red flags? Like, she's saying he's posting like fight videos or like drunk or whatever, or like I guess fights with his girlfriend.
I don't think they're like squaring up.
Good.
I think he was posting like some emo shit, like
right.
just talking about breakups and stuff or being drunk.
Basically,
just oversharing.
Yeah.
Which getting a man to do in general throughout history is very difficult. And so this is probably incredibly vulnerable to him if he knew you had.
True.
I would also say just at this current juncture where we are in the world, hearing from people that are like trying to find their partner right now sounds kind of like a nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't think you got to dig too
no,
deep.
This is also your fault.
You're torturing yourself. Look less, take a glance at it. Look at, the newspaper article about when he hit, when he went 2 for 4 at the plate that day and helped them get to the championship. But I don't think we need to go like, you shouldn't be like every night logging in for your time to dig through his old. You'll find something eventually. Well,
this is that for the phrase "play stupid games, win stupid prizes."
Yeah,
it's like, what did you think you thought he was gonna be fucking cool 15 years ago?
We all suck online.
Yeah, so 15 years ago, if she's 24 and he's 9 years, this is like a fucking shitty middle school math problem. So she's
24 and he's 9 years older.
So he was 20. Oh.
So he's 34.
So he's, basically.
So it was like his early.
So he's
20s.
20, right? He's about our age, whatever. So 15 years ago, I'm 20. I don't really want that shit out there.
Here's the other thing. I mean, Facebook back then was also like your Facebook world was like
just
maybe 100 people.
True. It was like people you went to college with.
That's before like parents started getting on it and shit. And it was like it's time to look for a new online space.
That's when we knew it died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, my mom's here. I don't think.
So he thought he was like posting that dumb shit for like just his small circle of buddies or people he knows from like college or something. He didn't think whatever.
Yeah, don't
his
exactly.
girlfriend now is like gonna look at that shit a decade later.
If somebody I was dating was like, hey, I want to talk to you about what you posted January of 2010. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You go for content? You want to film us talking about it? What could we possibly need to talk about?
Yeah, I would be like, why did you do that? That's fucking weird.
Yeah,
This is a red flag on your part as what. Like, it is actually more a red flag on you. Again, there is a line where if he's posting like white supremacist stuff.
Yes,
there's like, you can have a conversation. Like, there's certain
ahead
things.
Of the curve, that guy.
Or
way behind it. I don't know. It's hard to know.
Yeah, that wasn't the time to do it. But there'd be a resurgence. But there's certain things that obviously oh wait, this motherfucker was like, posting violent shit or racist shit or anything that really like unsettles you in a way. But like cringe does not. You cannot. If it's just cringe, you're the one who's in the wrong for looking this up. You know what I mean?
Too. I think everybody has to go through a cringe period to evolve into their final form.
Absolutely.
And so I don't think it's possible that anyone has escaped being cringy.
Yeah.
And you're looking for it, so you found it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's like good that it's up to you what your limit for what their cringe could be.
Yeah.
Like I know what would be enough for me to be like, this is not
whatever.
But I don't know that like it's
what could Dan have posted 15 years ago to completely derail your entire life right now?
I just feel like I think if he posted like I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't think he's it. He's truly it.
There's nothing other.
Perfectly been made for each other.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
do believe.
But there is, But it's funny, like, because what it would be is something that just is not. Dan would have to be lying about who he is.
Right. It would have to reveal to me that, like, whoa, he's
living some
you're
weird double
making this
life.
up. Yeah.
Like Dan posts about, and he's like been rich and loves his dad is alive and he loves him. You know what I mean? Like it would have to be like
him and his dad at a 49ers game, and he's like,
yeah, like with Joe Montana.
Everything you told me is wrong.
It would have to be something like that. But yeah. So anyway, we've spent enough time on you, our caller here. But you get it.
Stop looking.
Stop stalking. And in general, in a world, I think that's good advice for everybody. We're like, we live in a world where everything is documented. We can't be looking for shit, man.
Right.
We cannot be looking for shit. Go on, LD. What else we got?
Hi, Stav and honored guest. Okay, so here's the thing. And Eldest, if possible, could you play this when the guest is a woman so I can get both perspectives?
Yes.
So whenever I go out, men don't hit on me, at least not in a serious way. Like, I get catcalled, but when I make the effort and do my makeup, get all dressed up and go out, men never try to, like, chat me up. Like, I have never gone out and had a guy give me his number. And the thing is, I'm a former fat kid, okay? So when I was younger, I thought it was just, I was too big to date. But I'm fit now, I dress well, and I know that I'm attractive, as vain as that sounds. Like, I realize my face shape is literally what celebrities are ruining their faces to achieve with fillers.
Yeah. Very nice.
I go to bars, I go out dancing with friends, I go out alone to art events and coffee shops and even restaurants alone, and men just don't come talk to me.
Yeah.
Also, possibly an important note, I dyed my hair red, and I read online that men seem to not approach girls with fun-colored hair.
Really?
So it's fun red.
Is it a real thing that, like, a woman can be so attractive that men are afraid to approach her?
Let's
I
relax.
love this.
And
I love this. Can you do this when a woman's
dial
on?
It back a little.
So she can tell me I'm so hot that men leave me alone.
Are afraid to approach her. And I know this sounds so fucking vain, but I promise I'm not an asshole. Like, I'm very friendly. I'm kind of the life of the party when we go out. I don't spend all night talking about myself or anything. Like, it's actually been a problem in my life that friends and even strangers love to tell me their whole life story and never ask me any questions. So, yeah.
That's
and
weird.
Also, how should a girl approach a guy, like, at a bar or a club without making him think that I just want to sleep with him? Or is that just unavoidable if a girl is making the first move?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was embarrassing. Thank you, Stavvy. Bye.
Don't be embarrassed, but next time send a pic.
Yeah. True.
Just let us, if we're gonna talk about your face,
if you're gonna talk about how hot
you
are,
to see that face.
Yeah, like if you're just saying, if she was just saying like, hey, I'm a pretty good looking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not ugly.
Like, I'm built like a sports car.
Yeah. She's like, Hailey Bieber has spent $40,000 to get my cheekbones.
They bring pictures of my face to their doctor. My first thought, until you went into how hot you are, because I a little bit relate. Is it possible you're giving off a "don't fucking talk to me" vibe? Because I've learned that I might be guilty of that every now and then. Wearing flat shoes. That's another thing men notice. She's got flat shoes on and hotter friends. So I'm going to not even try there.
Right.
So that could be possible that you're giving off like, I'm really not that interested vibe. But I mean, she sounds interested. So that might not be it.
Yeah. And especially, it's interesting because who she's describing doesn't like mesh to me, where it's like life of the party, strangers will give me their life story, but men won't approach you.
Right.
Like, if anything, who you're describing gets approached too much. So I am confused here. Now, she said she was a former fat kid. Is that what she said? That might be the answer, unfortunately.
Talk to me. In what way?
As someone who, well, because there is just, like, if I was in a room with somebody who, you give me 5 people who are like, and they're hot now, I promise you I could pick out, if there was one, I promise you I could pick out who grew up fat.
Fat only, not ugly in another way.
No.
Just fat.
Fat is different. Maybe ugly in another way. I don't know. I have obviously much more, experience with the plus size community.
Yeah.
But there is like a lot of fat guys, when they lose weight, don't ever really fully get their swag going, and they sort of stay like kind of fat loser in what they present or how they behave. And especially for men, so much of things are confidence that it's like, you can look, and look, I'm not saying that's obviously going to help you out, right? If you lose weight and aren't confident, you're going to do better than don't lose weight and don't be confident.
Right.
And I'm wondering if she has the cousin of this, which is like, a way that a fat person can also get attention is by, when she's saying life of the party, whatever, that can also be annoying.
She-ham.
You know what I mean? Like, I know plenty of, again, I was probably, there were times where I was overdoing it. I think I've sort of figured it out and corrected for it, but there was definitely times where I was like trying to overcompensate and like
prove your worth to the group.
Yeah. When it was probably annoying, whatever. I also, unfortunately, live in a more misogynistic society. So a girl who has the same qualities as a fat, like the fat party animal guy, there's no equivalent archetype for a woman, which is unfair, but is how society works. And in fact, you'll get like labeled as a fat annoying bitch if you act that way. You know what I mean? Which is, again, unfair. My only thing with all the information I'm getting is like, do you give off some of that kind of annoying like vibe? I don't know. But even then, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe you sort of still have the like, maybe you're overwhelming in multiple ways, right? The hot thing plus that vibe could make you like they just don't know what to make of you necessarily.
Right. They don't know what box to put you in.
Yeah, exactly. And I have heard from like, hot friends have said like, I get approached less than my friends who are attractive but slightly less hot than me, right? So if we're to take you and look,
what you're saying,
and
as
no
true.
Disrespect, but I'm just skeptical of anyone who rates themselves this high.
You do
but
sound hot, though.
You sound hot.
You have a hot voice.
And I believe that it is possible. Now, maybe face-shaped celebrities pay, you might overdid it a little bit. Maybe you took a little poetic license.
I don't know about the buckle fat.
Yeah. But we're not saying you're not hot. But I'm saying, like, if this is that's kind of all I can come up with, right? Is that it's almost like dazzle camouflage, where it's so much. Because you're outgoing, you're like, life of the party, loud, have this red hair, have this like outgoing like hairstyle, have like are hot, whatever. Maybe it is a little, I don't know. That's the only thing I can possibly come up with here.
Or that you have in your mind an idea of how not fat, when you were fat before, you were picturing how other people were moving through society, picturing that like guys were just hitting on girls and girls. And then once you got here, you sort of realized that like it's still sort of like this. Like it's not, being a hot isn't what it looks like in the movies, maybe. So this is a little bit of like correcting your expectations.
That's possible,
kind of.
for sure.
Or I guess it's also, I think you should care less about the attention is usually the best way to get it. If you're this smoking hottie, then just like go out and enjoy yourself. Yeah. And then why complain about men not approaching you, I guess is my question.
That's a great point.
What a blessing.
Yeah, that's another great point. It's like, look, this might not be the way you find a partner, right? Yeah. Like you're also like, she's also made it clear she doesn't want to just fuck, right? And so if you're looking for something a little deeper than this, maybe you're not. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you have friends who complain about it. Like you're saying, like what a blessing that is. You might just have to meet people romantically in a different way. Meet them because if a girl makes the first move at a bar, yes, they might think, oh, she's trying to fuck. But if a girl makes the first move at the library, or or like outside of a movie theater, or in a coffee shop or something, or at a park, if you make it in a more sort of like less charged kind of implicitly sexual environment that the club or a bar is, then they might be like, oh, I met a nice girl, I want to go out, and then get drinks or something. So it's hard to find. You're throwing a lot of information, and this is sort of the best we can do here. But for example, I don't really like meet a lot of people in random bars, or even when or clubs or anything like that. That was never my thing. Yeah. Because you can't really talk in those situations.
All. It's just a lot of yelling.
And if you're somebody who likes to make conversation and has made women like you by being funny and fun, that's hard when the fucking music's loud. So that was never my thing. It would always be at a more quiet place I would meet, or it'd be a friend of a friend, or so that just might not be where you fuck or make
make a long-term relationship.
Yeah. Eventually, she wants to fuck these guys. She doesn't want to fuck them the first night.
Just don't let it affect your confidence. You sound like you know exactly who you are and how beautiful you are. Yep. And if they're not approaching you, then okay, then they're not up to your standard. Yeah. So I think don't you worry about their opinions of you. Don't change to them.
I agree. I think yes. Don't bend to the because at the end of the day, why do you want to do that? Right. Who gives a fuck?
And you're going to spend the rest of your life bending, and you're going to be very annoyed because you were this hot chick with fiery red hair.
Yeah, which sounds cool. I personally love dumb hair. I think it's cool shit. I like it. Yeah, like bubblegum pig. Like you know what I mean. Like I like dumb shit like that. Yeah. But I'm not your average Joe. I suppose.
That's so true.
Interesting. Well, good luck, pal. Okay.
Give me one of the crazy ones. Don't we have a crazy one? You guys always get wild.
We'll get wild ones, Eldis.
Hey, Stavvy. Love the show. Love Eldis. Just wanted to call and get a male's perspective about the situation I found myself in. Okay. I'm seeing this new guy, and he recently revealed to me that he lives with his ex-girlfriend. Like on our first date, I asked if he had a roommate, and he was like, yeah, I have a roommate. And in my head, I was thinking, is it your ex-girlfriend? And then he was like, it's my ex-girlfriend. Oh, no. And it's for me, I'm pretty poly and, doing this, relationship anarchy thing. So I don't really, I'm not, jealous that he lives with his ex-girlfriend, but it does kind of spark some interesting, independent man. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel like he's a very independent man.
Fascinating.
He said that he's been living with her for 2.5 years, or they've been broken up for 2.5 years.
What?
So they've moved together one time since
they moved together,
which I just think is really.
So they are roommates now?
Wait a second.
There's no way.
Wait a second.
They don't occasionally fuck? I mean, I guess she doesn't care.
They entered into a new lease.
That's lunacy.
No way.
That's one of the fucking craziest things I've ever heard in my fucking life. All right, keep going, Eldis. What the fuck?
Time since the breakup, which I just think is really I don't know. And so I was kind of, inquiring about his place, and, I asked him how much he pays, and he says he pays $12.50. So in the area that we live in, you could definitely get a studio apartment for that price for sure.
Yeah. Not even financially.
I pay $1,100 for mine.
That's crazy.
So yeah, basically I just want to know what some male perspective could be.
I don't even think pause this. I don't even think you need a male perspective. I just think you need anyone but you's perspective.
Anyone outside of it almost feels like the poly community. I feel like they're so good at being open-minded and not going
the incredible rationalization.
And it's just that they got a new lease in a new apartment. Yeah, it's yes, this is all screaming to me. Totally not cool.
Yeah, even the look, whatever the saying you're poly so you don't care. It's first of all, it's not like he just had. He has a girlfriend. Yeah. You're this is X. That's different than somebody he might even have random sex. It's just a bizarre move. This is fucking crazy. And even if because it's not poly people aren't jealous. They're just understand that
right.
If the whatever we've agreed to certain things, this is not part of that agreement in any way. This is a weird, fucked up situation.
Yes.
That is bizarre.
Yes.
Now, if they were are there people? I guess should we let her finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, let her finish.
What some male perspective could be on that. I asked him about like, does he like the company? Like, you know what I mean? He's kind of indifferent to even having a roommate in general. And her dog is, like, viciously annoying. Like, we were at his place, like, they hang out on the couch, and the dog kept, like, the ex-girlfriend's dog kept trying to, like, bite me. And, it just was, like, kind of ridiculous. So we went into his room, because I was like, dude, I'm done with this. And then, the dog just stood outside of his door and barked the entire time.
Dude, that's fucked up.
No chance I could come in that situation.
Like,
yeah, I mean, that's insane.
Dude, why do you want to live here? But,
no, you're right.
Anyways, that's my question. I hope I make it on the show. Okay.
You definitely made it.
Too understanding and sweet.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane.
This is wild. You've got a shitty dog that doesn't need to be in the picture at all.
Not at all.
Because it's an ex-girlfriend's dog. Also, you can't really ex someone until you are forced apart from each other.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You can't really grow from the relationship if you just stayed in it but started having sex outside of it.
Right.
You should in no way have to go to this guy's ex-girlfriend's place of living currently in order to have sex with this guy.
No, you're so right. The fact that there was never a break from living together.
Right.
Like, even if you don't fuck, there are weird relationship intimacy aspects where it's like, you can't immediately become just roommates then.
Right.
It's one, and I think the point I was going to make earlier was like, are there exes that become legitimate platonic friends? Yes.
Sure.
That happens,
but
right?
You need time.
But you need time, or maybe
Space.
one of them's gay. Like, the only way this is acceptable is if she came out as a lesbian.
Yes.
Like, truly, I legitimately think that. Like,
because, like, is he making her meals? Are they watching, when neither of them have plans, are they sitting on the couch and, like, watching a show together?
Yeah,
it's
like,
that's too much with an ex.
The only way I could even sort of see this as not weird in the way we're thinking of it is if this guy is so indifferent and, like, absent-minded.
Asleep at the wheel.
Like, I have friends who are, like, so fucking stupid, there's like, oh, okay, I'll do that. Like, if he's one of those guys who has zero going on in his brain.
So get out anyway.
And exactly. It's like, and if he's the kind of guy that doesn't see why this is weird.
Yeah.
That's also fucked up.
Yeah.
He's like a complete dullard and you don't want to be. So, yes, this is bizarre. Male perspective, female perspective, any perspective, this is fucking weird as shit. And I don't know. Like,
find out if she's doing his chores for him. That feels important.
Like, do they, I mean,
I wonder if it's possible that, you know, they were poly, maybe like the boundaries of the relationship were so, like, you know, dissolved or hazy when they were in the polycule that
they kind of became
it's
roommates.
kind of like extended to
the way
the post relationship life.
The way old gay dudes eventually just become roommates because they just fuck 100 other guys. They have like an open relationship and they're like, oh, that's my room. Like,
is he poly or is she poly?
Oh, true. We don't know.
But
if
also,
he's poly.
I don't know much about that community, so I don't know if it's like if she says she's poly.
No, it's not like that. I don't. He's not automatically like that. I mean, we don't know, right?
We don't know.
I guess you can suppose that
we'll be Googling relationship anarchy for sure.
Yeah,
sounds like a thing that somebody learned on a podcast.
Yeah, if I had to guess, relationship anarchy just means like there's no order, there's no like you don't rank your partners.
Yeah.
It's like it's pretty much like free love, I suppose.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is fucked up and weird any way you slice it. And because even our friend here is calling in, she's even saying it's not the sex. She doesn't have the sexual hang up. So you're right. He's fucking weird to do this. Anyone who would agree to do this is fucking weird in some way. And I don't have a read of the situation that's charitable to your boyfriend.
Yeah.
I can't. Right now I'm struggling to find a way where I'm like, this dude is not fucking weird.
Yeah, I can't. I'm being less charitable, but I too can't find it.
Yeah.
I just feel like if I got in a fight with my boyfriend and I knew he was at home with his ex, I would just constantly be like, is he going, this bitch, she doesn't do it, like, and then they just bang, and I don't know.
Well, that's another thing. If you're around your ex for long enough, you're probably going to fuck them.
You've done it before.
Yeah.
If you want it, you can, I don't know, it just feels like a recipe for disaster. And it's like,
right, nothing good can come of it.
I don't want to tell you to get out of something if you're fully in love with this guy. I think you can be a regular guy maybe and have found yourself in this situation, but it does feel like the point about independence stands out to me. It's like you don't want a guy who is this lazy about his living situation.
Who's so about like clearly inertia is the strongest force in this man's life.
I mean, maybe he's incredibly powerful and successful business-wise and just lets his personal life
let me stop you right
fall
there.
completely to shit. But this is a new level of like, you need to grow up and get your own place. I usually hate when people say that to somebody with roommates if it's like,
or get a different roommate.
Right. It's like
just get a different fucking roommate.
I'm not trying to shame you for having a roommate. It's the fact that it's a girl you used to regularly have sex with.
Yeah. Who you broke up with 2.5 years ago.
Whose dog is very territorial.
By the way, the dog is enough of a reason to move out.
Is like, they're fucking.
All right, that's fucking. You wanted crazy. We kind of
wild.
That was Eldest warming up. You have a couple more to throw at our friend Katie here, Eldest?
Let's hear them.
Yeah, here's another kind of crazy one.
Hey, Stav. So basically, I was just chilling the other day, and my girl's like, "Yo, somebody just sent me a naked picture of you and a girl on Instagram."
Whoa.
And I'm like, what? Because, I'm not cheating. So she's like, yeah, they sent it, and then they deleted it, like, right away. And I was like, okay. And apparently there was, like, a long-ass paragraph that went with it. And I was like, all right, so what was, like, can you tell me anything about, like, what it looked like? Or, like, like, what was, like, what could you see? So
babe, that thing is way too big to be mine.
You know that.
On the information I got, I figured out this was a girl that I dated kind of off and on back in the day. Crazy ass bitch. So,
I'm sure.
yeah, man. Basically, I guess she like fucking sent like a fucking screenshot of a sex tape to my girl, like on Instagram from like a different account, and like.
That's tough.
You know what I mean? That's weird. So, I don't know. Like, should I like? Because, like, on the one hand, like, there's an issue of, like, damn, there's, like, nudes floating around.
Yeah, that's
I
not
didn't even
great.
know she had this. Like, I've deleted everything on my end, so, like, long since. So, like, I don't, like, that's kind of concerning that she would just, like, send that out there.
Yeah,
but,
it's
like,
weird.
I get whatever, I guess, but, like,
illegal, I think.
On the other
It is
hand, like,
illegal,
I gotta
probably.
calm down my girl and everything. So, I talked to her, and I was like, like, this is who this is. Like, this isn't recent. Like, yada yada. She's super cool about it. I have my freaking like sister come in who knows us both and like calm her down. But anyway, so yeah, long story short,
Get a character witness testify.
Long story, whatever. So what do I do? Do I go to this crazy ex about this and be like, yo, like,
it's exactly what she wants.
Like accept my news around or whatever, or like, do I just let it go? I'm tempted to let it go because I feel like talking to her about it will only just like give her what she wants. But whatever. Give me your thoughts, Doug.
Yeah.
So is he saying that he didn't know she had a sex tape in sense of they both had it and he thought they deleted it, or he didn't know she recorded it?
I'm guessing he thinks it was deleted, but could be the other one as well. You never know.
Say, if it's the other one, if you
that
wanted
illegal.
to,
Yeah,
could call the probably cops on that. They're not allowed to do that.
Yeah,
They won't do shit, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the police.
Never really
the
do.
police are really going to be.
They're like, send the evidence over. We'll take a look
crime.
at that. Certainly send it over and we could take a look at it.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna do
you
much.
have ones where you're not as prominently featured as kind of her?
What about,
you
like,
see her tits
POV?
more.
Is there like, can you guys do a POV one? Just for me?
Now, were you ever wearing maybe a police officer's uniform in any of these pornographies? Could you send that one over?
You do gotta commend this guy because it sounds like he kept it so cool and collected when his girl came at him, and he was just, she's probably freaking out. He's just like, well, what did it say? What was the contents of this image? He's just,
and like, I'm of two minds here, right? One, I'd like to say this is a good guy who something weird happened to him. Two, this is a liar who's using our show as a way to put on record. He's like, babe, look, when I was talking to the podcast about
lie
it.
to Stavros.
Yeah.
You think I'd launder my image through Stavros' podcast?
I really feel like we do get some calls that are someone trying to go on the record in a third way.
I've watched clips and gone, that guy's just, this is evidence. This is evidence.
But I don't think this is that. I agree with you, Eldest. This is kind of the way to handle something like this. You're like, I know I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
So can we please together get to the bottom of what is going on here? Now, it's also unfortunately a great tactic to gaslight. But I do take him at his word. And hopefully his sister's a good person and not someone who would just aid in a I don't think that's a family of gaslighters. Many of those sisters. Yeah.
Those, my brother never does anything wrong. He's an angel. Sisters. I mean, but what was the ex trying to even say? Like, why delete it? That I don't get. Why'd she delete the message right after she sent it to her? I feel like information's being left out.
I mean, I guess if we're gonna again take him at his word that there's somebody who's just kind of maliciously doing this to fuck with him. And look, she might be this person. You know, he called her a crazy bitch, whatever. We don't know the level of how it ended.
Right.
He said he cut her off. It was on again, off again.
Yeah.
There's certainly relationships that in your mind you handled a lot better than you actually did in reality.
Certainly.
So this is probably a mix of he mistreated her a bit, but not enough to warrant doing something like this.
Right.
This is kind of like somebody is, you know.
Years later, this is?
Years later, it sounds like.
What's the fucking point?
I mean, you know, who knows, right? And the delete, why did she delete it? Maybe because, you know, she didn't want the evidence or the scrutiny for him to be like, oh, this is from...
Yeah, as you can see, I didn't have my tattoo yet.
Yeah.
This is clearly...
I hadn't done my cover-up. yet.
I think that if we are taking you at your word, definitely don't reach out.
Definitely
don't reach out. Potentially block.
Like, this is the kind of thing where you don't reach out to the person directly ever. And if it continues to be a problem, you go to a lawyer. You don't ever try and handle this with somebody who, if we're talking about somebody who's potentially leaking, this is revenge porn, essentially.
Yeah.
And, like, you do not deal with them at all, especially if it's somebody who clearly wants some kind of reaction.
Right.
Is trying to fuck your shit up. So, yeah, dude.
Don't reach out.
And if it keeps going on, that's when you consider a lawyer or, I guess, the police, even though they're not obviously going to do anything about it. But, yeah, lawyer is your better bet in that circumstance. You do not reach out to this person. Wild move.
Ever again.
No, certainly not.
Eldest, Stavvy, guest, what up? Go Ravens, baby. Let's fucking go. Fuck the Chiefs, fuck the Bengals, fuck the Steelers.
You're right about all that.
My mother-in-law wants me to call her mom. I think that's a little bit weird, quite frankly. The first time I ever met my mother-in-law, I looked at her, I was like, oh, if the girl I'm dating looks like you in 50 years, I'm stoked. I'm not saying
like he wants to fuck his mother-in-law.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're running into.
He's basically like, this is too directly Freudian for me to call an older woman I want to fuck mom.
I don't want to close the door just in case something happens to my wife.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Respect for giving us that. First, it was weird already. You didn't have to let us know that you kind of want to fuck this lady.
I'm stoked.
All right, what else we got?
So I'm not saying like I
have
sexual feelings or anything, but like,
right, we get you.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. It's weird, but like, basically, I'm under some pressure to call her mom. She wants me to say it, but like,
that's weird too.
My mom's also still alive as well, and I don't know. I'm in my.
I mean, it wouldn't be. Hold on,
33. And
it wouldn't be less weird if your mom was dead. He's like, well, my mom's still alive, so I don't need a replacement mom.
I'm already calling someone mom. I can't
do it until my mom's in the dirt.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking... You thinking that's weird. There's a lot going on here.
Not till my mom dies, lady.
Look, Barbara, when my mom dies... and you get a little less sexy. Hopefully it's in 8 years, you know, you've let yourself go a little bit. Maybe we can think about it.
33. And think it's kind of weird.
Okay.
It is.
But also, like, my wife's not exactly going to bat for me on this one, and like, not being like, yo, Mom, that's strange. I'm just like, it's a little odd for me personally. I would love some context here. I don't know.
Context
like,
for me?
most people I talk to are just like, this is odd. Love an expert. Love you
You're
guys.
not exactly an expert on this
Fuck
topic.
the Yankees.
Wait, fuck
right.
the Yankees.
You're right. You said the phrase that unites the
Fuck
whole
the
podcast.
Yankees.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him Mom.
Yeah. From Baltimore.
What if you tried out like a Ma? Because I know my dad calls my. I'm like thinking about my dad calls my or called, rest in peace, my mom's mom, Ma.
Yeah.
Because it's you're not gonna say like Matilda. You know?
Yeah.
Ma.
I mean, that's so fucking what like.
Once you've been married for a while, I think it's normal. But I guess maybe he's just saying it's too early. The insistence upon it is what's strange.
Insistence is
Call me
really
Mom.
strange.
It's like, okay. She said that to me twice, and then we'd get past it. But if she was like, hey, I need you to call me Mom.
She's coming out a low cut top.
Yeah.
No bra. You can see her nipples. She's like, call me Mom. You're
Mommy's
like,
fine.
Yeah,
Mommy
or
if you're
mommy.
nasty.
Yeah. Start calling her Mommy. Here's the thing. You got to fight through this.
Yeah.
Up the stakes. She
Out
wants to
alpha
call
the alpha. She's
Yeah.
like, okay, Mommy.
Hey, Mommy.
Mama.
I mean, it is okay. So
He's
let's break this down
mid-33.
step by step.
Yeah.
The insistence is very weird.
Yeah.
What do people traditionally do? I don't even know.
I'm like trying to think through. I feel like I know. I mean, Dan and I aren't married yet. But
Yeah.
he calls my parents by their names. I
Yeah.
don't think I can't picture him
That's what I'm
ever
saying.
calling my dad. I think
Dad
that
is
would be
crazy.
wild, especially because his.
Yeah, are you
dad's
gonna
been
call
gone.
this guy Dad?
Yeah,
You're gonna call her. Are you gonna call her husband
But I think
Dad?
people
Hey, Mom and
do.
Dad.
I think people do. Again, once you've been married for a while, and this person has been like a mother figure in
Yeah,
your life,
I guess.
then I guess you'd call them Mom. But early on, I mean, what if it's the mom, the mother-in-law, she's picking up that you'd fuck her, and she's trying to establish a boundary. Call me Mother,
Or
so we
maybe
can
she's
dead
moving.
this.
Or maybe she's moving the ball forward a little bit.
We need to know if Dad is in the picture or not. That would clear things up for us, I think.
I do find it weird. Here's what I think is the weirdest aspect of all of this. Why your wife doesn't have your back here, right? If you tell your wife, like, honestly, it's a little weird for me. I can't see myself being the kind of guy that calls my mother-in-law Mom. Can you talk to your mom about this? Or can we kind of like, can you kind of give me a little, advice on how you think I should, your mom. Like, what's his wife's vibe on this?
Right.
That's the part that's confusing me the most, right?
Right.
Because an inflexible mother-in-law, unfortunately, it's an archetype, but
Yes,
it's also
it happens
an
quite a
archetype
bit.
for a
Yes,
reason, right?
quite a bit.
There's often in-laws, it's a reason why it's like the most across all cultures. You want a safe target.
In-laws.
Pick in-laws. If you don't want to be racist or homophobic, right?
Right.
If you don't want to just go to that, if you don't want to be offensive, you want to just be something that can be on network TV that'll play in every country across the
In-laws.
world.
Fair.
In-laws is who you make fun of.
Right.
For stuff like this, they have weird little hang-ups that you don't want to do, but you have to put up with them because they're your spouse's parents. I do find it strange your wife does not have your back here, or at least isn't kind of like,
Ma, lay off of him.
Yeah, like,
He'll call
can we
you Mom
chill?
when he's ready.
Yeah.
He's going to be around for the rest of our lives, hopefully.
Yeah.
I would just try to say, like, hey, I'm going to call you Mom. Something about it for me, I'm not really, like, there yet. Would it be okay if I get there on my own time?
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And then she's like, what would it take to get you on that?
Show me those tits, and I'll start calling you Mommy.
She
It just
starts
comes out of
counting
me
you down. She's like,
naturally.
what about in 10, 9? He's like, stop counting. I have to go. I don't know, man. This is fucking strange, but I agree. I think, Katie, we just don't know enough about these people, right?
Yeah.
I do like Katie's Ma idea. Like, do they have a motherly nickname for her within the family that you can sort of like adopt?
Right.
Because Mom is like too specific.
Mom
it's
is
too
fucked up, dude.
Yeah. Is there a Ma? Is there like a, I don't know, like, or even like any nickname they might have?
Yeah,
for her?
yeah.
I think that's a nice little compromise.
Families
'cause it's
often
like,
have like family nicknames.
Right.
My grandma, we would call her Hyona. that was like her it was like her nickname in her family growing up because she was very pale and it means snow.
Whoa.
And so they're like she basically
Damn, your grandmother did Informer.
That's she was big in the white reggae community. But yeah, some kind of middle ground, some kind of family thing that connotes closeness, but isn't like doesn't have the loaded in every direction. Mom is mom, mommy, dad, daddy. Those are loaded terms
in ways,
psychologically in many ways, and I would stay away from it.
If you're really socially adept, I feel like you could even introduce a fun new nickname for her that she loves that then replaces in her mind the need for you to call her mom. So you could just be like, "Hey, Big G," and she'd be like, "Oh, that's great," and then that turns out, and then the whole thing goes away. It never comes up again.
Yeah, it is. I think that's a great one, but that is a high. That's a high level maneuver.
Yes, you would have to really make it not obvious you were trying to replace the mom thing. She can't catch on. Yeah, but it's just got to happen naturally.
It has to feel organic,
and it's got to catch fire. It's got to be a good nickname.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But that's what I would try.
That's tough, though. What you're describing is really tough.
It's only for the high level.
Yeah. So, good luck. I don't think he has that in him, unfortunately. Just from the minute 35 we spent. Yeah.
He did say fuck the Yankees.
He did say fuck the Yankees.
He's got a good head on his shoulders.
That is some good common ground on this.
And who doesn't want to fuck their mother-in-law? Just a little bit. Just to see how it feels.
Well, that's honestly, the thing I'm thinking of is what is her vibe? Because that also is another archetype, is the kind of milfy, sort of seem like the weirdest woman in the world to me is the one who seems to have a competition with her daughter.
It's a lot of,
and that's a lot of women. That's a crazy amount of people where it's like they're sort of trying to cuck their is that what's going on here?
When she insists you call her mom, is she touching you physically?
Yeah,
that to me flirty? Is the tell. She's like, hey.
Yeah, the little thumb waggle. She gives you a thumb waggle. That's too much.
She's insisting.
But is she doing it from if she's doing it from a
call me mom, please.
If she's doing it from a purely sort of almost grandmotherly perspective, then that's the only way I would consider folding.
Right.
But we already know that's not the case because he wants to fuck her. So never mind. Never mind. Just figure this out. Try the nickname
Give her a nickname or just Ma. Try Mother, and that'll just put her off to it.
Yeah, Mother.
Hello,
Mother's
Mother.
Fun. Hello,
She's going to hate that.
And again, what's going on with you? That's the thing I would wonder is
what's up with your wife?
What's up with your wife?
Why isn't she on your side?
You're going to come up with stuff that's more serious than this.
Yeah.
Even within the family, and if you guys can't be a united front on call me mom, what happens when there's some weird legal battle within the family? You know what I mean? Some kind of inheritance squabble.
The will and
you know
testament.
what I mean? Who knows? Whatever. I hope it doesn't happen, but something to consider.
Also very common.
Yeah, happens unfortunately. You got something fun for us to go out on here, little LD?
Hey, Stavvy baby. Hey, big fan. Loved your show in Portland when you came out here.
Thanks,
I think it was in March. Anyways, listen, man, with the baseball season going on, I was born and raised a Mariners fan, but they suck. So I decided this year I was gonna break up with them, like it's a toxic relationship, and start rooting for the Orioles, man.
What?
So I became an O's fan this season, but now
that's
he's
crazy.
He's just saying it like it's normal, like we're gonna breeze past the they suck, so I broke up with them. Orioles fan now. Here's my question. It's whoa. How'd you pick the Orioles?
Yeah, I mean, look.
What a weird choice if you're trying to get out of toxicity.
I guess in a weird way, because what you don't want to do is do the classic, I'm a Yankee, Red Sox, whatever fan now. I'm like a big, historically successful. You don't want to be the guy who's you break up with your small market team and you're like, I root for the Lakers now.
I love the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I guess I could. Now, this is just a man who doesn't know his history, though. Because the Orioles have had a couple good seasons. We've choked in the playoffs both times. And I guess you could be like, okay, there's a world where you could be like, they're a young team that was getting it together.
Sure.
They've been embarrassed a couple times. They're going to come roaring back.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the ground floor of this thing. That's the only, and they're not they haven't won in forever. Fun city, fun ballpark. I want to go to Camden Yards, whatever the fuck. Maybe that's how he came to it, but. Brother.
I need to know where he is geographically.
Yeah, true.
Because what a weird choice. You can barely, it's going to be a huge trip to get out to a game for your team, unless they come play.
Portland, I guess.
He saw Stavvy in Portland.
Yeah.
So
huh.
That's bizarre. You didn't pick, maybe the teams in their like division he hates too much to like.
Sure.
So maybe like anything on the West Coast kind of was like he couldn't do, but we don't need to fuck. We can bleep. Well, it doesn't matter. We don't even know that that's his foot. Anyway,
True,
whatever. Eldest
true.
is just fucking stupid. So anyway, yeah.
They fucking suck.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. And it's really, really hurting. And I'm wondering, like, how do I go back to being, like, maybe a Mariners fan? Or, like, what? I don't know. It just doesn't feel right being an O's fan right now. Like, they suck.
There
really
goes your
bad,
theory
dude.
about getting into the ground level.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, but I think that's what he was doing, though.
Stick it
And
out
he's mad
for the
that
rest
he
of
has
the
to
season and stay an O's fan.
One season?
Break my heart because they
break
suck.
your heart. First of all, shut the fuck up.
Let me know.
This year,
How
he decided
fucking dare
this
you?
year he broke up with the Mariners.
How fucking dare you, dude?
We aren't even through to we're not even at the All-Star break.
Yeah.
This
They
is
can
the
still
first
turn it
year-
around, by the way. You fucking asshole.
This is the thing that people always forget about baseball is you try to get back into baseball and you take it way too seriously, way too early.
Yeah,
and you don't just go like, dude, we have so much time.
marathon.
People are going to change
It's a
teams. Shit's
I
gonna
still
go
remember
down.
2007, my senior year of high school, the Orioles were leading the AL East at the break, and we didn't even make the fucking
Yeah,
playoffs.
it means absolutely nothing. So your willingness to bail this early, to me, alarms me.
Yes.
Alarms me.
So fuck you. What do you mean? You barely were in this. Why did you even choose it? Now, could you go back to the Mariners? Yes, but now you have to stay with the Mariners forever. This is like...
I like the Mariners.
I know. By the way...
They're fun to root for. It's not going great, but they're...
It's like I mean, I don't know. I'm a very look. I am a casual baseball fan for sure, right? Like I will throw an O's game on in the background.
Yeah, that's what it's for, by the way.
Baseball is the best background.
Yes,
like
it's
I don't want it to
second
be
screen.
completely silent, but I want to, I'll catch that. I'll watch highlights. When I'm home, I try and go to a game if they're in the playoffs, and I've been working, but I was planning this year to go to playoff games. We'll see. But I'm that level of fan. And the thing is, they've been, and I was a big fan when I was a little kid. So there is something in me that when the Orioles start making runs, I pay more attention. And when they win, then, I think it'll happen. It's going to be that much sweeter, and that's the whole thing with the Mariners, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had something kind of similar to this in terms of when I moved to New York 10 years ago, Baltimore doesn't have a basketball team.
I was going to say the Knicks. This is
exactly.
kind of like
Baltimore doesn't have a basketball team.
But it's not. You didn't just pick out a team on the opposite side of the country.
Yeah. I moved here. I always loved New York. I always
didn't have a basketball team. So you weren't replacing somebody.
Yeah, exactly. So, but even for me, it's like I feel like I've put in already 10 years of being a Knicks fan. I watched Kristaps Porzingis get drafted at an open mic on the Lower East Side. I was at the game where he fucking tears his ACL. The last game he played as a Knicks fan, as a Knicks a member of the Knicks. I was at that one. I watched the first Knicks home playoff win during the COVID season against the Hawks. I went to fucking games. I've been to a lot of them, right? Like I feel like I've put my time in.
You saw that loss. Let's not forget the loss you just saw to the Pacers.
The most devastating sporting event I've ever been to in my life. That I'm just getting over now. And if we hadn't made that awesome comeback, I would want to fucking blow my brains out. But I feel like I've put in my time.
Yes.
And I fully feel like I've, earned being a Knicks fan, whatever. You're not a fucking Orioles fan at all, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I've sat through the hard... When I was a kid, we had great teams that always got fucking smoked, and then we were just dog shit. And then, the couple times we flirted with the... we lose to the fucking... Machado gets hurt. We lose to Kansas City. And we just haven't ever been back in a real way in the playoffs since. You fucking have been around for 2 months, and you're talking about this sucks.
Cold weather baseball. We're not even warm yet.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
You can't be
dude?
this mad. And here's what I'm gonna say: if you asked, which you did, what do I do? Do I just like go back to being a Mariners fan? My best advice to you, honestly, is yes.
Absolutely.
Get over whatever this was. It was just a little dalliance.
This is like cheating on your wife twice.
You like thought about cheating. This is like you were entertaining.
And you're like, what have I done?
You were
my children. Yeah. And you hide this.
Yes.
You fucking burn whatever owes. He hasn't even bought memorabilia yet.
No chance.
So,
You just go back and forget about this. Atone for your sins.
Give Buy a new jersey.
Fully to the Mariners. Yep. Yeah, get a Julio Rodriguez jersey.
Yeah.
And then get out there. And then when the Mariners win, you're going to laugh to yourself about like, thank God I didn't. Remember when I was going to jump ship? Because how much does that suck? You jump ship, the team wins without you. And you're like, okay.
You can't go back. That's the thing.
Right.
You have to realize this. What you're feeling now, imagine how much worse it would be if it's 4 years later, the O's still haven't been good, and the Mariners start putting it together.
And then all of your, friends, if you grew up with friends that were all Mariners fans, are all celebrating how good the Mariners are, and you have to be like, I picked the O's.
And then you try and come back, and they will never
They would never let. I wouldn't. If they let you in, they're weird friends. They're not good friends.
If I had a friend like that, if I had an O, like a friend of mine who was like cheering for the fucking like White Sox or some shit. I mean, another horrible team, obviously, but like whatever. And then the O's got good, and they were like, "Oh, hey guys," you would never let them hear the end of it.
Do what any sensible baseball fan does, which is you got to pick an NL team.
Yes.
Have a National League team that you root for. Have a team that you're like, look, this isn't my team, but I heavily fuck with them. And when my team's pissing me off, I watch their games instead.
Yeah. I was the Mets were that for me as a kid. And it was almost like, that's also part of the Knicks thing, also part of the, like, I've been in Queens for 10 years. Yeah. I always, you kind of always knew you wanted to move to New York. Yeah. I did anyway. Yeah. So that was always for me, right? When the Mets were and then, and it was cool because, I mean, they fucking lost to the Yankees, but when the Mets are in the Subway Series, I get to root against
New York,
the Yankees. It was awesome. So it's like, maybe that's what you want to do. You want to pick something where it's like, who is the, like, your biggest rivals, like NL, who would they hate the most to be in the World Series? And maybe, but you're so right. How do you not have an NL team?
Yeah, you just pick an NL team.
That's crazy.
That's the win.
I
feel like a generation of us all, I feel like the Braves were very popular in the sense because of TBS.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know a lot of people have like, the Braves are their secondary team.
Yeah. The Cubs run a lot. I feel like, but they were bad. But the Cubs, I feel like, were on a lot as well.
Yeah. You just got to have another team. You just got to have teams you root for. I think, don't be crazy about your fandom in the sense that you think you can't like another team. Like, you can watch as many teams as you want to.
Yeah.
I just don't think, breaking up with your team and then giving up on your new team after a couple weeks.
You were so right.
Crazy.
It's a dalliance. It's you went on you're on the Sugar Baby website.
You're on Ashley Madison.
Yeah, you're on Ashley Madison.
You made the account.
You went on a date. Maybe you got your dick rubbed through your jeans, but nothing more has happened.
Mm-mm.
Now you can still turn back.
Go back to your wife.
You can still turn back, but you're
Give yourself to your marriage.
Yes.
Get
have
her flowers.
A vow renewal ceremony.
Fix it,
dude.
Fix it, because your emails got leaked on Ashley Madison, and we're all going to see that you were on there. So.
Yeah, and we don't want you, by the way. Fuck you, dude. Wow. You're a fucking O's fan. Fuck this guy. We're going to fucking turn around. It's early yet. A lot of talent in this ball club.
Mm-hmm. Last place. 3-game win streak.
Three-game win streak. We're getting there. That's all it'll take. All right. Well, listen. I think that's going to do it. Katie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
I had a blast. Plug the show. Where else can people see you?
Oh, Casuals. It's twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, wherever you get your audio podcast. We're not on YouTube yet. Please don't scream at me. It's through SiriusXM.
You do film it.
I know. But the editing of the video, we don't have enough people. Sirius is an audio company, and I'm in this partnership with them for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I would like it to focus on all their stuff is audio numbers based.
I mean, I also think video obviously is important, but you guys are doing clips, you're doing the stuff that matters.
Discoverability. We'll get there.
You'll get there.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, you'll get there. Great show, very fun.
Thank you. You don't need Sirius to listen to it. You get it wherever you get your podcasts. Casuals.
A ton of different. You have a really interesting like mix of guests where it's not just it's not just like other sports personalities. It's like. It is athletes, it's comedians, it's interesting people, so check it out. Great show. I did the first one. You can see me lose my shit I'm really sad. We had just lost in the playoffs, and
it was really good.
I made it so that Katie can say "fuck" on her own show.
Yeah,
thanks to me.
He said it 100 times.
I mean, I said it a lot, and I think I said Josh Allen can suck my dick.
Yeah,
I think I was pretty graphic.
Yes,
but
stuff like this did come up. Yes,
which actually I do like Josh. Actually, it's hard to respect him so much because he is good. But
doesn't mean he can't suck your dick.
He can also still suck my dick. Yeah. Fuck the Bills. This is our year, baby. The Ravens are fucking taking it all. Go watch Casuals, listen to Casuals, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.